Chapter 5280. The North Ruins was a ghost realm. It lacked vitality and was in ruins everywhere. However, the air of death here was much thicker than in the other four realms. Therefore, it was a paradise for ghost cultivators, but a forbidden place for other cultivators. Due to the concentration of death energy there, ghost cultivators would be able to achieve twice the results with half the effort. However, other cultivators would be incapable of cultivating here. The entire North Ruins was the world of ghost cultivators. The Ghost Emperor Mountain was the holy land in the hearts of countless ghost cultivators. But now, Huangfu Zun had attacked the Ghost Emperor Mountain. This was a resounding slap to the Ghost Emperor's face. Huangfu Zun, why are you attacking my Ghost Emperor Mountain? The Ghost Emperor's figure appeared at the peak of the mountain. Hand over Lin Xiaotian and Dong Wang, and I will leave immediately. Otherwise, I will destroy your Ghost Emperor Mountain. Huangfu Zun stood proudly in the sky amidst countless formation runes. In this world, only Ji Yufei could suppress him. The Ghost Emperor was nothing. How arrogant. Let's see how you destroy my Ghost Emperor Mountain. The Ghost Emperor was furious. Who did Huangfu Zun think he was? Did he really think he was invincible? The only person he was afraid of was Ji Yufei, who was behind Huangfu Zun. Ji Yufei had just destroyed the Extreme Devil Cave and occupied the Buddha clan's myriad Buddha Mountain. Who dared to provoke Ji Yufei now? One had to know that even the Buddhist tribe could not do anything to Ji Yufei. Although the Ghost Emperor knew how powerful Huangfu Zun was, he would be a laughingstock if he didn't show up now that Huangfu Zun had attacked the Ghost Emperor Mountain. All right, let's fight. Huangfu Zun sneered and pressed his right hand down. Rumble, endless spirit energy of heaven and earth gathered from all directions and turned into a golden hand that was even bigger than a mountain. It pressed down on the Ghost Emperor Mountain. Huangfu Zun used the formation to attract the power of heaven and earth. When he attacked, it was like this side of heaven and earth was attacking as well. Ghost King Mountain began to shake. You underestimate my Ghost Emperor Mountain. The Ghost Emperor sneered. In the next moment, countless runes surged out from the entire Ghost Emperor Mountain, and these runes interweaved to form a formation diagram. Boundless fiendish aura burst out from the Ghost Emperor Mountain. A gigantic ghost shadow emerged from the mountain and howled at the sky. The huge ghost shadow punched upwards. Boom! The golden palm collided with the ghostly fist and the two forces exploded, turning into a destructive force that swept out in all directions. The golden hand and the ghostly fist disappeared into the void at the same time. In this attack, no one could do anything to the other. Hey! Huangfu Zun was surprised. There was an array on the Ghost Emperor Mountain. Moreover, this Ghost Emperor Mountain's array formation seemed to be very powerful. Interesting, there was actually someone in this world who was more powerful than him in the Tao of array formations. Huangfu Zun, come in if you can. I'm right here. What can you do to me? At this time, Lin Xiaotian suddenly appeared. The ghostly emperor was furious. You bastard, everything was caused by this old geezer Lin. Otherwise, how could he be a comfortable local tyrant in the North Ruins? Now that he had offended Ji Yufei's people, there would be no peace in the North Ruins. Huangfu Zun was not only the Formation Emperor, but also Ji Yufei's subordinate. The Ghost Emperor really didn't care about the Formation Emperor, but Ji Yufei was different. Lin Xiaotian, you coward. Come out and fight me if you have the guts. Huangfu Zun's eyes turned red when he saw Lin Xiaotian. This Lin Xiaotian had made him so anxious that he wanted to tear this guy into pieces. Ha ha! Provocation doesn't work on me. Lin Xiaotian laughed loudly. Huangfu Zun, you old ghost, come in and fight me if you have the guts. Who's afraid of who? East King appeared next to Lin Xiaotian and mocked Huangfu Zun. Huangfu Zun was so angry that he almost vomited blood. In the next moment, he threw out countless formation plates like crazy. Those formation plates turned into rays of divine light and fell in the void near the Ghost Emperor Mountain. He was going to lay down a peerless killing formation and refine the Ghost Emperor Mountain. This guy is crazy. Lin Xiaotian and East King were shocked when they saw this. At this moment, the weather changed, and the sun and moon lost their light. A terrifying power gathered between heaven and earth. Even the Ghost Emperor was shocked by this power. Huang Fu Zun, the Formation Emperor, was not a weakling. Besides Ji Yufei, he was the second strongest in Formation Dao. If Ji Yufei didn't make a move, who in the Void Realm could be his opponent in Formation Dao? Damn it, you two got me into trouble. The Ghost Emperor was shocked. Huang Fu Zun dared to attack the Ghost Emperor Mountain alone because he had the ability and the confidence. Senior Huang Fu, at this moment, a figure rushed over from the distance. Tianhong, what are you doing here? Huang Fu Zun couldn't help but frown when he saw that person. This guy was like a dogskin plaster. Wherever he went, this guy would follow him. He was really annoying. However, this guy was also Ji Yufei's subordinate, just like him. He couldn't do anything to this guy. Senior Huang Fu, goddess little girl sent a message from Master. She wants us to go to Mount Myriad Buddha. Ancestor Tianhong rushed over and said hurriedly. What at this time? Huang Fu Zun was startled. He didn't dare to refuse his master's summons. Moreover, the Tianfu Mountain was a good place for cultivation. There weren't many cultivation sacred grounds in the world. Lingtian Palace's Jiutian Lingtian Mountain, Buddha Clan's Mount Myriad Buddha, and Tian Clan's Void Beginning Small World were all cultivation places that cultivators dreamed of. Why did Master summon him to Mount Myriad Buddha? Master is so powerful that he has already destroyed Devil Cave. East King and Lin Xiaotian are like ants in Master's eyes. Senior Huang Fu, don't bother with them. Let's go to Mount Myriad Buddha together, Ancestor Tianhong said. What? Master destroyed Devil Cave? Huang Fu Zun was shocked. He was so focused on chasing East King and Lin Xiaotian that he didn't get the news. Now that Ancestor Tianhong said it, he was dumbfounded. Ji Yufei, that bastard. It was also the first time Lin Xiaotian and East King heard the news. They were also shocked. In order to get rid of Huang Fu Zun's pursuit, they specially went into the mountains. Naturally, they didn't hear that Ji Yufei had destroyed Devil Cave. We can't let them go like this. Huang Fu Zun said angrily. This. What should we do? Ancestor Tianhong was also dumbfounded. Master had summoned him, and this guy dared to refuse. Huang Fu Zun was still setting up the array. After half a day, the void suddenly shook, and a super killing array was formed. Monstrous killing intent erupted from the killing array, causing Ghost Emperor to tremble in fear. This killing array enveloped the entire Ghost Emperor Mountain. In this way, if the killing array couldn't be broken, no one in Ghost Emperor Mountain would be able to come out. I'm leaving. You guys have fun in there. Chapter 5281. Although Ji Yufei was in seclusion, he could still send voice transmissions and give orders to his subordinates. He immediately summoned all monarch level and above subordinates to Myriad Buddha Mountain. He was going to make a big move. Red-browed Eagle King, Saber King Luo Lai, One-Armed Sword King Qiu Chenjian, and Lunar Divine Fist Han Chong were all preparing to leave for Midway. However, the southern barbarian capital could not be left unguarded. This heavy responsibility naturally fell on Black Mountain's old priest, Shan Kuei, and the others. Although their cultivation level was not high, who dared to offend them? Even the feudal lords did not dare to act presumptuously in front of them. This was because Ji Yufei's token was enough to suppress everyone. Who would dare to provoke Ji Yufei at this time? Even the people of Lingtian Palace did not have such a token. The Sorcerer Tribe. The Sorcerer Tribe had already admitted defeat. However, Qiu Chenjian still had one more thing to do. The Saber King's subordinates broke into Shan Kuei's residence. In fact, the matter was already very clear. The Saber King's subordinates wanted to fish in troubled waters, but the Saber King did not know about this. The Saber King did not want to protect his people, but his subordinate had some relationship with the Saber King because the Saber King had a son who married a woman. The leader in black who broke into Shan Kuei's residence was the brother of the woman of the Saber King's son. Therefore, it was too difficult for the Saber King. If any of his subordinates committed a crime, the Saber King could just kill them. However, that person could not be killed. Saber King, how do you think we should deal with this matter? In the southern barbarian capital, one-armed sword King Qiu Chenjian stared at the Saber King opposite him with a serious expression. In the hall, behind the Saber King stood a young man. "Brother Qiu, we are brothers. Can't you be more merciful?" Saber King Luo Lai said indifferently. "This is an order from Her Highness Goddess. Why don't you ask Her Highness Goddess for leniency and ask her to be magnanimous?" Qiu Chenjian said impatiently. Before Xiao Ya left the southern barbarian imperial capital, she had beheaded the shaman king, Wu Jiao, with a single sword strike. The shaman king did not even dare to let out a fart. Now, the head of the shaman king, Wu Jiao, was still hanging on the eastern city wall of the southern barbarian imperial capital. If he asked the Saber King to plead with Xiao Ya, where would he find her? It was obvious that Qiu Chenjian wanted to settle this matter today so that he could go to the Myriad Buddha Mountain in the central region to explain to the little goddess. Moreover, with Xiao Ya's temperament, if she were to find out the truth, then that relative of hers would definitely die. The Saber King was speechless. "Father, the young man standing behind the Saber King was anxious. "Shut up, you don't have the right to speak here," the Saber King roared. The young man immediately shut up obediently. "Go, kill that person for me," the Saber King roared. He knew that he had to give Qiu Chenjian an explanation today. Moreover, they were about to head to the Zhongtian Buddhist land. When he went to Myriad Buddha Mountain and saw Goddess Xiao Ya, it would be hard to say. "Father," the young man was very unwilling. "What are you waiting for? Don't tell me you want me, your father, to personally take action," the Saber King said murderously. "Yes, father, I'll go now." When the Saber King was angry, it was useless no matter who came. The young man directly turned around and rushed out. Very soon, a blood-curdling scream came from outside. "Very good." Qiu Chenjian nodded. "Brother Luo, it's not that I don't want to help you, but I have no other choice. You should know that this trip to Myriad Buddha Mountain will only bring benefits and no harm. If I can't even settle this matter, how can I face the little goddess?" Qiu Chenjian said. "That's right, we're brothers, we shouldn't protect that person," the Saber King sighed. Their master naturally summoned them to Myriad Buddha Mountain for benefits. After all, Myriad Buddha Mountain was the cultivation holy land that all the cultivators in the Void Realm dreamed of. Actually, everyone had already guessed why their master summoned them to Myriad Buddha Mountain. The Saber King naturally did not want to miss this opportunity. After Shan Kuei's matter was settled, Qiu Chenjian left the Saber King residence and returned to his Sword King residence to prepare for his trip to Zhongtian. Zhongtian was the most prosperous region in the entire Void Realm. Experts gathered here, which was incomparable to the other 4 regions. And Tianfu Mountain was the cultivation place that all the cultivators in the world dreamed of. Since ancient times, only the most outstanding disciples of the Buddha clan were allowed to cultivate on the Myriad Buddha Mountain. However, the Myriad Buddha Mountain now belonged to Ji Yu Fei. Ji Yu Fei summoned his subordinates to Myriad Buddha Mountain. Naturally, there was a big move. When the news came out, not only Nanman but also Zhongtian was shocked. The forces of other regions were also paying close attention to the movements of that person on Tianfu Mountain. There was no other way. He was the most famous person in the world, so it was impossible for him not to attract attention. Ji Yu Fei summoned Kai Mai and Qiu Chenjian, but he didn't summon us. What does this mean? Many people gathered in a secret room in the royal capital of Nanman. Humph. He probably doesn't trust us. A burly old man clad in battle armor sneered. "Forget it, who cares? I'll still be my king." Someone sneered. Bang. At this moment, the door was kicked open and a man broke in from the outside. "Well, what are you doing here? Are you plotting a rebellion?" The man shouted and glanced at the experts in the secret room. "Fierce Tiger King, what do you mean? You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want," the tall and sturdy old man said loudly. The expressions of everyone in the secret chamber changed drastically. One had to know, who would dare to rebel now? They would be beheaded. It didn't matter what king you were. Wu Jiao, the Witch King, was a good example. "Haha, otherwise what are you all doing here?" The 10 great Marquis kings, could it be that you've gathered here to drink and chat? Fierce Tiger King laughed. Elephant King, you and I are brothers. How come we are strangers now? Another man came in from the outside. North Vanquishing King. The 10 vassal kings in the secret chamber couldn't help but be startled when they saw this. People with different principles can't make plans together. Elephant King said calmly. Very well, North Vanquishing King and I will leave Nanman's royal capital tomorrow. You'd better behave yourself. Otherwise, no one will be able to protect you. Fierce Tiger King said and turned around to leave. North Vanquishing King also left with Fierce Tiger King. How? How did they know? Did someone snitch on us? What do you mean? After the Fierce Tiger King and the others left, the 10 great vassal kings in the secret chamber actually began to quarrel. Sigh. They are all a bunch of short-sighted people. Fierce Tiger King shook his head when he heard the argument coming from the secret room behind him. We have no choice. Let's leave early tomorrow. North Vanquishing King was also helpless. Chapter 52-82. Among the 19 vassal kings of Nanman, only the Flame King and the North Subduing King received Ji Yufei's summons and were qualified to go to Zhongqian Buddha Land. The other vassal kings did not have this qualification. Moreover, the 19 vassal kings of Nanman only existed in name because the Witch King, Wu Jiao, was killed by Xiao Ya, and the Witch King, Wu Ying, died in the hands of Ji Yufei. The grass on his grave was 3 feet high. Now, the East King ran away. Therefore, the 19 vassal kings of Nanman only existed in name. As for the East King's territory, 90% of it was taken over by the Red-Browed Eagle King. As long as the flag of Ji Yufei was raised, no one dared to attack the place. Even if Ji Yufei wasn't in the southern barbarians, his reputation was awe-inspiring. That guy actually flattened the extreme Devil Cave. At the peak of the 9 Heavens Lingtian Mountain, the ancestral land of Lingtian Palace, a figure sitting cross-legged on a boulder suddenly opened his eyes. Under the boulder, an old man stood respectfully. This old man was the Battle Hall Elder of Lingtian Palace. Interesting. Continue to watch him and see what he's going to do. Lingtian Palace Master said. Yes, Palace Master. The Battle Hall Elder bowed and left. In front of Lingtian Palace Master, even the Battle Hall Elder, an emperor of a generation, trembled with fear because the aura of Lingtian Palace Master was too strong. The Battle Hall Elder knew very well that the Palace Master's cultivation had probably surpassed the Emperor realm and had broken through to the legendary Transcendent Emperor realm. Of course, this was all the Battle Hall Elder's guess because Lingtian Palace Master rarely revealed his cultivation and combat strength. Even the higher-ups of Lingtian Palace did not know his true cultivation. The Battle Hall Elder had seriously underestimated Lingtian Palace Master's strength. What is he doing? Is he trying to get that thing? Lingtian Palace Master's eyes suddenly flashed. At this time, Ji Yufei's subordinates began to leave Nanman and head for Zhongqian Buddha Mountain. Long Xiaoju was also gathering the experts of the West Sea Dragon Clan to head to the Myriad Buddha Mountain. She was Ji Yufei's disciple, and she was also the little princess of the West Sea Dragon race. She had a lot of power in the West Sea and could not be underestimated. In the West Sea, the Dragon Clan reigned supreme. However, the Dragon Clan was also divided into several major clans, such as the Black-Scaled Dragon Clan, the Violet-Scaled Dragon Clan, and the Golden Dragon Clan. The Golden Dragon Clan was Long Xiaozhou's main clan. Apart from the 3 great dragon clans, there was also the Scarlet Dragon Clan. On the surface, the Black Dragon Tribe, the Purple Dragon Tribe, and the Red Dragon Tribe of the Western Sea had submitted to the Old Dragon Emperor. However, the 4 great dragon tribes were secretly fighting against each other. However, with the existence of the Old Dragon Emperor, the other 3 dragon clans would not be able to cause any trouble. However, if something were to happen to the Old Dragon Emperor, the West Sea would be in chaos. No one wanted to be suppressed and ordered around by others. However, no one expected that Long Xiaoju would actually become a disciple of Ji Yufei. The higher-ups of the West Sea Dragon Clan were secretly delighted that Long Xiaoju had switched from Lingtian Palace to Ji Yufei's faction. After losing Lingtian Palace, Long Xiaozhou's status in the West Sea Dragon Clan immediately dropped. However, As Jiyu Fei continued to display his might, the higher-ups of the West Sea Dragon clan were dumbfounded. In particular, when the news of Jiyu Fei destroying the Extreme Demon Cave spread to the West Sea, the higher-ups of the West Sea Dragon clan were dumbfounded. As a result, Long Xiaozhou's status in the West Sea Dragon clan rose again. Moreover, Long Xiaozhou was already regarded by the West Sea Dragon clan as the next Old Dragon Emperor's successor. No one dared to compete with her for the position of Old Dragon Emperor. After all, with a powerful master like Jiyu Fei, who would dare to compete with Long Xiaozhou for the position of Old Dragon Emperor? Even if she did not become an Old Dragon Emperor, no one would dare to say anything. However, this made the sons of the Old Dragon Emperor extremely depressed. This time, when Long Xiaozhou gathered the strongest of the Dragon clan to Myriad Buddha Mountain, countless experts of the Dragon clan were extremely excited. However, Long Xiaozhou only gathered a portion of the Golden Dragon clan's higher-ups and experts, who were incomparably loyal to the Golden Dragon clan like the Black Dragon King and the Amethyst Dragon King. The other experts of the Dragon clan were not qualified to go to Myriad Buddha Mountain at all. A large number of experts from the Southern Barbarian and West Sea entered Middle Heaven and headed towards Myriad Buddha Mountain. When the news spread, it immediately attracted the attention of various forces. Everyone was guessing what Jiyu Fei wanted to do. Meanwhile, at the Ghost Emperor Mountain of the North Ruins, the Ghost Emperor, the master of the North Ruins, was badly battered by the super-killing formation left behind by Huang Fuzun. The Ghost Emperor and Lin Xiaotian had fought a few times already, but Lin Xiaotian was a veteran emperor. Even the Ghost Emperor, the master of the North Ruins, couldn't do anything to him. "Brother Ghost Emperor, isn't it better if we work together to break the formation? There's no need to hurt our friendship." At the peak of the Ghost Emperor Mountain, the sky was dark and the aura of death was vast and mighty. Two figures faced each other in the sky. "You bastard, if it weren't for you, would I have provoked the old lunatic Huang Fuzun?" The Ghost Emperor's eyes were red with anger. "This guy is too hateful. I was originally staying in the North Ruins as a local tyrant. I don't know how happy it was, but this guy actually led Huang Fuzun to the North Ruins. Humph, do you think you'll be safe hiding in the North Ruins? Don't be naive. Jiyu Fei will unify the Void Realm sooner or later. Why don't you and I work together? Maybe there's a chance of survival." Lin Xiaotian sneered. "What did you say?" The Ghost Emperor was extremely shocked. It should be known that no matter how amazing a person was, no one could unify the Void Realm since ancient times. Could this Jiyu Fei do it? How was this possible? "Well, let's work together to break Huang Fuzun's killing formation first," Lin Xiaotian said. "Well, if you dare to lie to me again, I'll fight you to the death." The Ghost Emperor gritted his teeth and said. Lin Xiaotian sneered in his heart. This Ghost Emperor was simply a big fool. He used a little trick, and this guy was dragged into the water by himself. Well, if he could also drag the Eastern Wilderness Demon Clan into the water, maybe he could really compete with Jiyu Fei. The Eastern Wilderness Demon Clan was an extremely powerful clan in the Void Realm. The whole Eastern Wilderness was the world of the Demon Clan, and there were many experts in the Demon Clan. Especially the legendary Demon Lord. It was rumored that the cultivation of the Demon Lord had probably reached the legendary Supreme Emperor realm, and he was an awesome existence second only to the Lingtian Palace Master. The West Sea was not a big deal, because the West Sea was on the same side as Jiyu Fei. Lin Xiaotian was brewing a great yin in his heart. If he succeeded, they might be able to find Jiyu Fei for revenge. The Ghost Emperor saw Lin Xiaotian's eyes flicker and his face change several times. Needless to say, this old guy must be thinking of ways to harm people again. As the Lord of the North Ruins, how could the Ghost Emperor be an ordinary existence? He was just in a dilemma before. If Lin Xiaotian still wanted to use him as a spear, then Lin Xiaotian really underestimated him. Chapter 5283. Huang Fuzun was an array emperor. With his attainments in array Dao, the killing array he set up would not be broken so easily. Even if Ghost Emperor and Lin Xiaotian joined hands, they wouldn't be able to break Huang Fuzun's killing formation in a short time. The entire Ghost Emperor Mountain was still sealed by the killing formation. When the news spread out, the North Ruins and the entire Void Realm were in an uproar. Although Ghost Emperor was the lord of the North Ruins, there were still ghost experts who disobeyed him. Bone Emperor of the White Bone Ridge was the only one who dared to go against Ghost Emperor in the entire North Ruins. He even wanted to replace Ghost Emperor and become the lord of the North Ruins. However, Ghost Emperor's cultivation was incomparably strong and suppressed Bone Emperor. Therefore, Bone Emperor could only hide in the White Bone Ridge and didn't dare to come out. Because once he came out, he would be tortured miserably by Ghost Emperor. White Bone Ridge was a dangerous place where the aura of death condensed. It was protected by an ancient killing formation. Even Ghost Emperor didn't dare to enter the White Bone Ridge rashly, which gave Bone Emperor a chance to breathe. If it wasn't for the existence of the White Bone Ridge, Bone Emperor would have been killed by Ghost Emperor a long time ago. Now, Bone Emperor finally saw an opportunity to kill Ghost Emperor. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. After receiving the news that Ghost Emperor was trapped in the Ghost Emperor Mountain by Gu Fei, Bone Emperor immediately came out and sent his men to the South Barbarian. He wanted to get in touch with Gu Fei's men. It was impossible for Bone Emperor to kill Ghost Emperor alone. He could only rely on Gu Fei's strength. However, to Bone Emperor's surprise, Gu Fei's men left the South Barbarian and went to Middle Heaven. Even Huang Fu Zun left the North Ruins and went to Middle Heaven. What could they do if they couldn't find him? Bone Emperor was also a ruthless person. He actually went to Middle Heaven personally. At this time, the Middle Heaven Buddha land became lively because countless forces in the Void Realm had sent their spies to Middle Heaven Buddha land. All forces were watching Tianfu Mountain. Everyone wanted to know what Gu Fei was trying to do by gathering all his subordinates. Actually, there were already rumors that Gu Fei was preparing to unify the Void Realm. Gu Fei wanted to unify the Void Realm. However, this was only a rumor. Even Gu Fei's men didn't know why their master had summoned them, so how could outsiders know? With the continuous arrival of Gu Fei's subordinates, the deserted Myriad Buddha Mountain finally gained some liveliness. There were a lot of empty houses and palaces on the Myriad Buddha Mountain, so there was no need to worry about finding a place to stay. At this time, at the peak of the Myriad Buddha Mountain, outside the 10,000 Buddha Hall, Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju stood guard outside the 10,000 Buddha Hall while the others waited in the distance. Xiao Ya and the others had been waiting outside the main hall for a long time. No one dared to express any dissatisfaction. Open the Grotto Heaven and choose the Tao artifact. Wait till I come out of seclusion. Gu Fei's voice came from the 10,000 Buddha Hall. Yes, Master. Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju were overjoyed when they heard this. Those who were waiting in the distance were surprised and overjoyed too, especially those who didn't have a Tao artifact. Master is going to open the Buddha clan's Grotto Heaven? Huang Fu Zun, who had rushed over, was elated. He was an old antique and knew many secrets of the major forces in the Void Realm. He had heard people say a long time ago that the Buddha clan had a treasure Grotto Heaven. The Buddha clan had been around for countless years and collected all the treasures in the world in the Grotto Heaven. He had thought that it was just a legend. He didn't expect the Buddha clan to really have such a treasure trove. Treasure Grotto Heaven? Patriarch Tianhong was shocked when he heard this. Is there anything good inside? Thousand Beast City Lord Huang who asked curiously. Are you an idiot? That is the Buddha clan's treasure Grotto Heaven. Do you think there will be anything good? The Buddha clan won't even be interested in treasures of lesser quality. Huang Fu Zun slapped Wild Tiger's head with his palm. Yes, yes, yes. You're right. Huang who quickly smiled apologetically without any dissatisfaction. This old man was a famous array emperor. Of course, the current Huang Fu Zun was also a true array emperor. Even ancestor Tianhong, a half-step sovereign realm expert, had to be respectful to the old man, not daring to slight him. Red-browed Eagle King, Lunar Holy Fist Han Chong, and Saber King Luo Lai were waiting by the side. One must know that this old man was a true emperor. Only their master, Gu Fei, was capable of subduing such a person. If there are array boards in the Treasure Grotto Heaven, don't fight with me for them. Do you understand? Huang Fu Zun shouted at the experts behind him. Of course. The array boards are yours, old master. Patriarch Tian Hong quickly replied. You're smart. Huang Fuzun smiled and patted Patriarch Tian Hong's shoulder. Patriarch Tian Hong was patted a few times by Huang Fuzun. Every time he was patted, he would bend a little and his bones would almost fall apart. Since Patriarch Tian Hong, who came from Ling Tian Palace, was in such a state, the others didn't dare to do anything to Huang Fuzun. Everyone treated Huang Fuzun as the leader of their group. Greetings, Goddess Xiao Ya. Greetings, Your Highness Xiaoju. Seeing Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju walking towards them, everyone quickly bowed to them. Aha! Greetings, fellow Taoists. Huang Fuzun only nodded at Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju. Everyone was shocked when they saw this. The leader was indeed the leader. He was really awesome. One must know that Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju were Ji Yufei's personal disciples. No one dared to look down on them. However, Huang Fuzun only called them fellow Daoist out of politeness. Red-browed Eagle King and the others were shocked by Huang Fuzun. Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju weren't dissatisfied. Fellow Daoist Huang Fu, you've worked hard. Xiao Ya said. Huang Fuzun blushed. He was embarrassed that he couldn't bring back East King's head. Everyone knew that Huang Fuzun was hunting East King. He even broke into Ghost Emperor Mountain and fought with Ghost Emperor. In the end, he sealed the entire Ghost Emperor Mountain with a killing array. Huang Fuzun was really ruthless. I couldn't complete the task Master gave me. I'm ashamed. Huang Fuzun said awkwardly. Good that you know. Long Xiaoju glanced at Huang Fuzun and said indifferently. Huang Fuzun didn't dare to say anything else. All right, all of you, follow me. Xiao Ya glanced at Long Xiaoju and then turned around to lead the way. There were many monarchs gathered outside the hall at the top of Myriad Buddha Mountain. There was the one-armed sword king Qiu Qianjian, the lunar divine Fist Han Chong, the red-browed eagle king, the saber king Luo Lai, the desolate tiger, the fierce tiger king, and the North Garrison King of the Thousand Beast City. Ancestor Tian Hong was a half-step sovereign realm expert, and Huang Fuzun was a true sovereign realm expert. Long Xiaozhou's subordinates, the Black Dragon King, the Purple Dragon King, and the Crimson Blood Dragon King, as well as her brothers, the eldest brother Long Xiangtian, the second brother Long Jingtian, and the youngest sister Long Xiaoshuang. Not all the experts of the West Sea Dragon clan were at the monarch realm. They were qualified to enter the Treasure Grotto Heaven to choose a Dao artifact because they were Long Xiaozhou's subordinates. In fact, Yu Xian of the Sky Clan was also Ji Yufei's disciple. She was also qualified to bring her subordinates to choose a Dao artifact. However, Yu Xian didn't bring anyone with her. Chapter 5284. The Sky Clan had a long history. No one knew the origin of the Sky Clan, and no one knew that it was established by someone outside the Void Realm. Establishing a clan did not require blood relations. Although Yu Xian was the Sky Clan's primogenitor, she was not married and had no children. The Sky Clan's second-generation patriarch was actually an adopted son. Her adopted son had already passed away. The 12 ancient emperors of the Sky Clan were actually the Sky Clan's third-generation and fourth-generation patriarchs. Although they held high positions in the Sky Clan, in Yu Xian's eyes, they were still a bunch of kids. Yu Xian had already guessed Ji Yufei's intentions. Ji Yufei had gathered his subordinates to Myriad Buddha Mountain to give them a chance to become emperors. Divine kings like the red-browed Eagle King and the one-armed Sword King had reached a bottleneck in their cultivation. It was not easy for them to advance further and become emperors. If they could borrow the boundless heaven-earth spiritual energy and great path aura within Myriad Buddha Mountain, they might be able to take the step to become emperors. Ji Yufei had too few emperors under him. He only had Huang Fuzun. Yu Xian of the Sky Clan was not his subordinate, but his disciple. Ji Yufei treated his subordinates very well, especially Patriarch Tian Hong. He was a half-step emperor realm expert. If he left Ling Tian Palace, it would be much more difficult for him to become an emperor. This was because cultivating in Ling Tian Palace's ancestral land would yield twice the results with half the effort. But now, he could cultivate on Myriad Buddha Mountain. This Myriad Buddha Mountain was as famous as Ling Tian Palace's 9 heavens towering mountain. Cultivating here would definitely not be any worse than cultivating on the 9 heavens towering mountain. At that moment, Xiao Ya brought everyone to the stone wall behind Myriad Buddha Hall. Then, she waved her right hand and a seal appeared on the stone wall. In the next moment, transparent ripples appeared on the stone wall, and a golden door immediately appeared on the stone wall. A wave of pure spiritual energy immediately surged out from the golden door on the stone wall. Everyone in front of the door shuddered when they felt the rush of spiritual energy, and their spirits were lifted. Go ahead. Everyone can only choose one. Whatever you choose, it's your destiny. Don't take more than one, understand? Xiao Ya glanced at everyone and said. Although she was young, her words were dignified. Moreover, she was already at the half-step Divine King realm. Her cultivation speed was simply unprecedented. As for whether there would be someone like her in the future, no one knew. Yes, Your Highness. Everyone hurriedly said. Only Huangfu Zun didn't think so. This guy had cultivated for countless years, and he only submitted to Jiyu Fei, Xiao Ya, Long Xiaoju, and the others. He really didn't think much of them. After all, this guy was a genuine emperor. Naturally, he had the pride of an emperor. Although everyone was extremely excited, they still walked into the golden door in an orderly manner. Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju did not enter the treasure-hiding paradise. They stood guard outside the treasure-hiding paradise because they had already walked around inside and collected quite a few treasures. Long Xiaoju waved his right hand in the void in front of him, and a light screen immediately appeared in the void. Then, the scene inside the treasure-hiding paradise was displayed on the light screen. Everything was under their control. Roar. As soon as Long Xiaozhou's little sister entered the treasure-hiding paradise, she immediately revealed her true form. With a dragon roar, a golden dragon shadow soared into the sky and directly rushed towards a Buddhist pagoda that was filled with spiritual energy. The others did not hesitate either. When they saw a place with strong spiritual energy, they immediately rushed there. Everyone knew that the stronger the spiritual energy, the better the treasures. Peerless divine treasures were hidden in places with spiritual energy. Huangfu Zun took a step forward and instantly entered the depths of the treasure-hiding paradise. The things outside were not worth his attention at all. Good things were naturally hidden deep inside. However, Huangfu Zun only wanted a formation disc right now. If he had the formation plate, he could have killed Dong Wang in one move. Without the formation plate, he could only exert 50 to 60% of his formation Dao's power. At this time, Red-Browed Eagle King, One-Armed Sword King, and the others also rushed in all directions. The treasure-hiding paradise of the Buddhist clan was simply a small world. No one knew how many treasures the Buddhist clan had hidden in this small world. Seeing the spiritual energy rushing out of this small world, everyone was extremely excited. However, they could only take one Dao treasure here. Many people did not know which one to choose, because there were simply too many treasures here. Boom! Soon, there was a loud noise. A Buddhist pagoda suddenly exploded, and a dazzling spiritual energy shot into the sky. Within the spiritual energy, the shadow of a blade was faintly discernible. With a dragon roar, a golden divine dragon shot into the sky and directly wrapped around the blade. Buzz! The divine blade vibrated, trying to break free from the golden divine dragon's entanglement. However, the golden divine dragon tightened its grip, and the spiritual energy that erupted from the divine blade began to dim. It was clear that the golden divine dragon had suppressed the divine blade. With another dragon roar, the golden divine dragon disappeared, and a young girl in golden armor appeared in the sky. Holding a divine blade in one hand, she descended from the sky majestically. She was Long Xiaozhou's little sister, Long Xiaoshuang. Congratulations on retrieving the divine blade, little sister. Long Xiangtian and Long Jingtian walked over and looked closely at the divine blade in Long Xiaoshuang's hands. The blade was still vibrating, and countless runes were faintly discernible on the blade. An extremely sharp saber qi shot out from the divine saber. Even the two brothers of the dragon clan, Long Xiangtian and Long Jingtian, felt chills run down their spines. What a powerful blade! The two Golden Dragon clan experts could not help but exclaim. Little sister, you're the luckiest. You found your fortune the moment you entered. Long Jingtian sighed. Haha, my two brothers, you have to work hard as well. I'll be heading out first. Long Xiaoshuang was very happy to have found the divine blade. She was about to leave the treasure-hiding paradise and find a place to completely refine the blade. All right, then we'll go look for our fortune as well. After saying that, the two golden dragon race experts rushed into this small world and disappeared. Junior sister, are you cheating? Outside the entrance of the hidden treasure wonderland, Xiao Ya gave Long Xiaoju a meaningful look. Senior sister, don't accuse me wrongly. Long Xiaoju hurriedly said. Those were her brothers and sisters. So what if she cheated? However, she couldn't say that. She wasn't stupid enough to do that. Chapter 5285. At the peak of Myriad Buddha Mountain, a dragon's roar came from the hidden treasure paradise. Another West Sea Dragon Clan expert had found a Tao treasure. It was a divine pearl called the Sea-Suppressing Pearl. This pearl was one of the rare treasures in the hidden treasure paradise. A golden dragon soared into the sky and bit the sea-suppressing pearl. Then, it rushed toward the entrance of the hidden treasure paradise. When the other experts in the treasure depository grotto saw this, they were extremely shocked. Two experts from the Golden Dragon clan had already found a Tao artifact or Tao treasure. It should be known that only 3 experts from the Golden Dragon clan had entered the treasure depository grotto. Everyone had a hunch that the next expert to find a Tao treasure or Tao treasure would still be a Golden Dragon clan expert. At this time, everyone was a little anxious. The guys in the Golden Dragon clan's mouth had gotten all the good stuff. They could only get ordinary Tao treasures or Tao treasures now. Boom! Very soon, there was a loud noise, and a palace in the treasure vault suddenly collapsed. A huge golden dragon rushed out of the palace, and in its mouth was a divine spear that was shrouded in flames. As expected, Red-Browed Eagle King, One-Armed Sword King Qiu Chenjian, and the others were envious. The divine spear in the mouth of the golden dragon exploded with powerful fluctuations, causing them to be extremely shocked. That divine spear was definitely an incomparably powerful Tao item. Refining such a Tao treasure would naturally increase one's combat strength. An initial Emperor Realm Tao treasure? Han Chong said with a frown. There weren't many Emperor Realm Tao treasures in the Void Realm. One had to be an Emperor Realm expert to refine an Emperor Realm Tao treasure. Even in the hidden treasure paradise of the Buddha clan, there weren't many Emperor Realm Tao treasures. Now, the 3 Dragon Clan experts had found 3 Emperor Realm Tao treasures or Tao treasures. Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? Moreover, it was too easy. How could they find one of them so easily? Was there something fishy going on? Many people had the same thought. In reality, these West Sea Dragon Clan experts who had obtained Emperor Realm Tao treasures were all Long Xiaozhou's brothers and sisters. Who would believe that there was nothing fishy going on? Everyone knew it, but no one dared to say it out loud. Long Xiaoju was Ji Yufei's second disciple and had the support of the West Sea Dragon Clan. Who would dare offend her? Aya, junior sister, you, outside the hidden treasure paradise, Xiao Ya looked at Long Xiaoju and shook her head with a wry smile. Senior sister, why are you looking at me all the time? Senior sister, why are you looking at me? Long Xiaoju was also a little embarrassed. Her 3 siblings had all obtained royal-grade Tao artifacts. It was naturally her doing. Otherwise, how could her 3 siblings have found royal-grade Tao artifacts so quickly? After all, it was not as if there were no existences stronger than the 3 Golden Dragon Clan experts from the West Sea Dragon Clan. At this moment, the half-step Emperor Realm expert, Great Hong Ancestor, was still wandering around the grotto heaven and had yet to obtain anything. Huang Fu Zun rushed into the depths of the treasure cave abode, but he still hadn't found the array disk he needed. Huang Fu Zun had heard that the Buddha clan's array Tao was unique. Since he had the chance to climb Thousand Buddha Mountain and enter the hidden treasure paradise, he couldn't return empty-handed. Where is it hidden? Huang Fu Zun had heard that the Buddha clan's array Tao was unique. Since he had the chance to climb Thousand Buddha Mountain and enter the hidden treasure paradise, he couldn't return empty-handed. Where should I hide it? Huang Fu Zun sat cross-legged on a Buddhist pagoda. He closed his eyes and carefully sensed his surroundings. In the Void Realm, Huangfu Zun was confident that no one could surpass him in terms of array Dao. Although the Buddha clan's array Dao was powerful, it was only at the Emperor realm. Only the great array that suppressed the extreme demon cave was strengthened by generations of experts of the Buddhist clan. That Buddhist array was the #1 Buddhist array in the entire Buddhist clan. However, this Buddha array had long disappeared when Ji Yufei destroyed the demon cave. Huangfu Zun used his array Dao mystic technique. Array patterns appeared and intertwined on his body, and the power of array Dao spread in all directions. This old antique is cultivating here at a time like this. The people nearby were surprised to sense Huangfu Zun's aura. Huangfu Zun was an array emperor. His cultivation was not something ordinary people could compare to. However, the spirit qi in the treasure paradise was really thick. It was not any worse than the outside world. However, this was only a small grotto heaven. No matter how thick the spirit qi was, it couldn't withstand a king's squandering. Soon, Huangfu Zun's array Dao aura covered the depths of the treasure paradise. This guy has some tricks up his sleeve. Outside the treasure paradise, Long Xiaoju used the dazzling water mirror technique to display everything inside the grotto heaven. Both Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju were surprised by Huangfu Zun's method. This guy was reliable. He was using his array Dao to sense the Buddha clan's array Dao hidden in the grotto heaven. Boom! Very soon, a mound suddenly exploded. Dust rose high into the sky, and a powerful force of array Dao erupted. Rumble! Buddhist light shot into the sky as an array board slowly rose from the ground into the sky. Countless Buddha runes emerged on the array disk, intertwining with each other. Countless runes emerged and dissipated in the void around the array disk, repeating the cycle. Finally found it. Huangfu Zun soared into the sky and landed on the formation plate. Buzz! The array board vibrated. Rays of golden Buddhist light rushed out of the array board and turned into golden chains that wrapped around Huangfu Zun. When Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju outside saw this scene, they could not help being visibly moved. The array board was like a golden lotus seat where the Buddha sat cross-legged. The array board must have been imprinted with the mark of the previous owner of the array board. It would not be easy for Huangfu Zun to refine this array board. If he was not careful, he might get into big trouble. Should we tell Master? Long Xiaoju asked Xiao Ya. Isn't it good to let him suffer a little? Xiao Ya said indifferently. Hehe, that's right. Let him suffer a little then. Long Xiaoju laughed. At this time, Long Xiaozhou's brothers and sister had already been arranged to cultivate by her to refine the emperor-level Dao treasures and Dao weapons they had obtained. Still want to resist? You don't have to hide in the dust when you meet me. Surrender. Inside the treasure paradise, Huangfu Zun sat cross-legged on the golden lotus seat. His body was tightly bound by Buddhist chains, but he was still calm. Seeing Huangfu Zun trapped, everyone in the treasure paradise was surprised and happy. Without Huangfu Zun, an Emperor Realm expert, they had one less opponent to compete for the supreme treasures. Red-browed Eagle King and the others were even more eager to find a suitable Dao weapon or Dao treasure. Chapter 5286. Although there were many treasures in the hidden treasure grotto heaven, it was not easy to find a Dao weapon that suited one. Long Xiaoju could cheat, so her brother and sister quickly found a Dao weapon that suited them, but the others were not so lucky. However, Huangfu Zun did have some tricks up his sleeve. He used his formation Dao as a guide and successfully drew out a formation plate, or rather, a lotus seat. However, this lotus seat formation plate was not so easy to subdue. This was because the lotus seat formation plate was branded with the mark of its original owner. Even Huangfu Zun could not erase the mark in a short time. Clanging sounds continued. Golden chains rushed out of the lotus seat and entangled Huangfu Zun to the lotus seat of the Buddha throne. Huangfu Zun used his mysterious technique to suppress the lotus seat. At this time, the others were anxiously looking for their own Dao weapons. However, the more anxious they were, the harder it was to find one. Eagle King, what do you mean by this? I saw it first. An angry roar was heard in a mountain ridge. Two figures were confronting each other, and powerful monarch-level yuan qi fluctuations erupted from their bodies. One of them was the red-browed Eagle King, and the other was the Blade King, Luo Lai. Blade King, what did you say? Did you see that I left a mark on this rock? I only left for a moment, and this thing is yours. The red-browed Eagle King glared at the Blade King, Luo Lai, in displeasure. In front of the two of them was a battle spear. More than half of the battle spear was embedded in the wall. Moreover, the aura that was emanating from the battle spear was not that of the Buddha race. Obviously, this battle spear was not made by the Buddhist clan, but a Tao weapon refined by someone else. The red-browed Eagle King and the Blade King, Luo Lai, both had their eyes on this battle spear. The red-browed Eagle King was not lying, because there was an Eagle King's mark on the rock wall next to the battle spear. There was a flying eagle carved on the rock wall. Moreover, the mark on the eagle was clearly freshly carved, because there were many stone chips scattered on the ground below the rock wall. So what? When I came here, there was no one here. You just left a mark, and this thing is yours. How can there be such a cheap thing in this world? The saber sovereign Luo Lai said coldly. So you want me to fight for it? The red-browed Eagle King's eyes immediately became sharp. Can't I? Saber King Luo Lai said in a tit-for-tat manner. Then there's nothing more to say. The red-browed Eagle King's killing intent exploded. In the next moment, he stomped on the ground with his right foot and leaped into the air, pouncing towards the Saber King, Luo Lai. Do you think I'm afraid of you? The Saber King Luo Lai sneered. In the next moment, a cold light rushed out of his body. He grabbed it in his hand and slashed at the red-eyebrowed Eagle King. The red-browed Eagle King sneered and shook his hands. In the next moment, two blades of light immediately rushed out of his hands and directly collided with the blade light that the Saber King Luo Lai had slashed at him. Two figures were instantly sent flying backward. Luo Lai, you are a saber sovereign. You, a saber wielder, are trying to snatch my spear? The red-browed Eagle King landed on a large rock and stared at the Saber King Luo Lai while gritting his teeth. TSK, who said that a saber can't use a spear? The Saber King Luo Lai said disdainfully. How dare you? Then let's fight. The red-browed Eagle King didn't waste any more time talking to this guy. He shook his arms and in the next moment, two wings spread out from his back. Feathers rushed out of the red-browed Eagle King's wings and turned into extremely sharp blades of light that pierced towards the Saber King Luo Lai. Total annihilation. The Saber King Luo Lai swept his divine saber and a bright blade light burst out. It actually shattered the countless blades of light that were piercing towards him. The countless blades of light turned into countless rays of light and disappeared into the void. Divine Eagle spreads its wings. The red-browed Eagle King let out a furious roar. The image of a giant eagle spreading its wings suddenly appeared on his body. The two wings were like two huge blades of light as they fiercely slashed towards the Blade King Luo Lai. Blade technique. Playing with a blade in front of me? The Saber King Luo Lai sneered and attacked. It had to be said that the Saber King Luo Lai's cultivation of the Saber Dao was really amazing. He directly met the attack with his saber and directly destroyed the two blades of light from the red-browed Eagle King. The second blade was like lightning and instantly landed on the red-browed Eagle King's head. Swish. The red-browed Eagle King's speed was even faster and directly left behind an afterimage where he stood. Boom. The blade of light fell and the huge rock that the red-browed Eagle King was originally standing on was directly split in half by the Saber King Luo Lai's saber. A blade mark directly extended into the distance. Swish. A golden eagle claw suddenly appeared and directly grabbed towards the Saber King Luo Lai's head at an extremely fast speed. Kill. The Saber King turned the divine saber in his hand and directly met the golden eagle claw. Clang. The blade of light and eagle claw collided and actually caused a few sparks to fly. The two figures once again separated, but immediately after, they rushed towards each other again. An extremely powerful wave of yuan qi spread out, directly alarming many people. Why is the red-browed Eagle King fighting with the Saber King? Many people were watching from afar. Saber King Luo Lai, Lunar Divine Fist Han Chong, and the one-armed sword King Qiu Chenjian were all once subordinates of barbarian Yu. Although they had changed their allegiance to Jiu Fei, the red-browed Eagle King and the others had been following Jiu Fei since the barbarian imperial city. Naturally, they somewhat looked down on the Saber King and the others. Moreover, previously in the barbarian imperial city, the Saber King Luo Lai's subordinates had unscrupulously killed their way into Shan Kuei's residence. This was simply a slap in the face to the old people who followed Jiu Fei. Now, the conflict between the Saber King Luo Lai and the red-browed Eagle King had been ignited because of an emperor-level Dao artifact. These two guys, Xiao Wei could not help but frown when she saw the red-browed Eagle King and the Saber King Luo Lai actually fighting. Let them fight, why do we care about them? Long Xiaoju laughed. Alright. Xiao Wei also did not want to care about these two guys. As long as they did not fight to the death, it would be fine. At this time, the red-browed Eagle King was really angry. Each of his attacks was incomparably ruthless. A pair of eagle claws tore through the void, constantly colliding with the divine saber in the hands of the Saber King Luo Lai. The sound of metal clashing resounded in this small world. These two lunatics are fighting here. Once the master finds out, they will definitely not be able to bear the consequences. Someone muttered to himself. Chapter 5287. Red-browed Eagle King, do you really want to fight me? Saber King Luo Lai roared. Mother **K, I'm going to fight you. Red-browed Eagle King's eyes turned red. These guys didn't take him seriously at all. They were all godly kings, and I'm a peak godly king. I'll cripple you if you dare to mess with me. Red-browed Eagle King didn't show any mercy. Countless light feathers flew out of red-browed Eagle King's body and turned into startling light blades, slashing towards Saber King Luo Lai with all their might. The resulting shockwave sent the surrounding sand and stones flying. Rubble kept rolling down from the cliff. You really want to fight me? Then let's fight. Who's afraid of you? Saber King Luo Lai roared. In the next moment, all his essence, energy, and spirit gathered on the divine saber in his hand. Swish! An extremely resplendent immortal saber radiance rushed out of Saber King Luo Lai's hand, instantly reaching thousands of meters. The saber radiance landed and the countless light feathers dissipated under the saber radiance. Under the saber radiance, red-browed Eagle King's light feathers dissipated like snow under the scorching sun. The power of this saber was earth-shattering. Even a peak godly King Luo Lai was frightened by this saber radiance. Red-browed Eagle King vomited blood and was sent flying. Bang! The red-browed Eagle King's back slammed heavily into the stone wall. Cracks immediately appeared on the incomparably hard stone wall, and countless pieces of rock tumbled down from above. You! Red-browed Eagle King bled as he stared at Saber King Luo Lai. You didn't expect this, right? Do you think I'm still a peak godly king? I've been a peak godly king for a long time, you idiot. Saber King Luo Lai mocked. You! Red-browed Eagle King vomited a mouthful of blood. How infuriating. This Saber King was too despicable. He hid his strength on purpose. Otherwise, red-browed Eagle King wouldn't have lost so badly. Those who were watching from afar were also indescribably shocked. Saber King Luo Lai was only a peak godly king. When did he break through to peak godly king? Even the one-armed sword King Qiu Chenjian, who had always been on good terms with the Saber King Luo Lai, was dumbstruck as he watched from a short hill in the distance. This guy had really hidden himself well. The Saber King Luo Lai did not dare to kill the red-browed Eagle King. After all, the red-browed Eagle King had followed Jiu Fei much earlier than him. If he killed the red-browed Eagle King, the consequences would be dire. Jiu Fei had always been good to his subordinates, but if they made a mistake, the punishment would be very heavy. You win. The red-browed Eagle King sat cross-legged on the ground and began to heal his wounds. Saber King Luo Lai stepped forward and grabbed the spear that was stuck in the stone wall. He forcefully pulled it out. He wanted to pull the spear out of the stone wall. However, he only felt his hand sink. The spear stuck in the stone wall did not move at all. Huh? What's going on? Luo Lai was shocked. He tightened his grip on the spear, but the spear stuck in the stone wall remained motionless. Luo Lai was truly frightened. The spear stuck in the stone wall seemed to have grown from it. He had already used 70% of his strength, but he still could not pull it out. How is this possible? At this moment, even the people watching from afar were bewildered. Could it be that the divine weapon had a spirit and could choose its own master? Roar! Luo Lai roared angrily. He tightly grabbed the spear stuck in the stone wall with both hands. Then, he pushed his feet against the stone wall and forcefully pulled it out. The yuan qi around his body was vast and mighty, and the power of a peak king-level expert erupted from his body. Luo Lai was determined. He did not believe that he could not pull the spear out. However, even if Luo Lai was determined, it did not seem to be of any use. His face was flushed red, and both his feet were pressed into the stone wall. However, the spear stuck in the stone wall did not move at all. How is this possible? How is this possible? How is this possible? Luo Lai continuously roared. However, no matter how much strength he exerted, he could not pull it out. Ha ha, the red-browed eagle king laughed loudly. So what if you defeated me? You are destined to have no fate with the divine weapon, the red-browed eagle king mocked. Preposterous. Try pulling it out if you have the ability. Luo Lai let go of the spear and jumped to the ground. He stared coldly at the red-browed eagle king. At this moment, he finally understood why the red-browed eagle king left a mark beside the spear and then left. It was because this fellow could not pull the spear out. Otherwise, the red-browed eagle king would have pulled out the spear long ago. How could it be his turn? I am not as capable as you. Continue. As the red-browed eagle king spoke, he took out a pill and tossed it into his mouth. Then, he circulated his energy to heal himself and no longer paid attention to the Blade King Luo Lai. Luo Lai was sullen. After defeating the red-browed eagle king, he thought that the spear stuck in the stone wall would be his. Who would have thought that he wouldn't be able to pull the spear out? However, he was very unwilling to retreat just like that. The divine weapon belongs to the fated. Luo Lai, you are not fated with this spear. A voice rang out. Then, a figure descended from the sky and landed in front of the stone wall. You. When Luo Lai saw that person, he wanted to curse. However, when he saw that person's appearance, he swallowed his words back into his stomach. Because this person was Patriarch Tian Hong. Patriarch Tian Hong was in existence at the half-step monarch realm. No matter how arrogant Luo Lai was, he would not dare act arrogantly in front of Patriarch Tian Hong. Senior Tian Hong. Luo Lai was terrified. He had no choice but to be terrified. Because Patriarch Tian Hong was a half-step monarch realm expert, and Patriarch Tian Hong could kill him with a single slap. Hee. Since you are not fated with this spear, then don't force it. Let me see if I can pull it out. As he spoke, Patriarch Tian Hong walked forward. Luo Lai nodded and bowed to Patriarch Tian Hong on the surface, but he was cursing 18 generations of Patriarch Tian Hong's ancestors in his heart. Patriarch Tian Hong didn't care about all that, and he directly grabbed the spear that was stuck in the stone wall. Everyone stared nervously at Patriarch Tian Hong. A half-step monarch realm should be able to pull the spear out. However, everyone's jaws dropped when they saw that Patriarch Tian Hong exerted force several times, but the spear that was stuck in the stone wall did not move at all. Even he can't pull it out. Outside the treasure cave, Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju, who were watching the scene through the dazzling light mirror, were also shocked. Could the spear that was stuck in the stone wall be a peerless Dao weapon that surpassed the Emperor realm? Almost everyone had the same thought in their minds. We actually didn't see that spear. Chapter 5288. An inconspicuous spear was stuck in the stone wall just like that. However, Saber King Luo Lai, who was at the peak of Immortal King realm, could not pull the spear out even after using all his strength. Then there was Forefather Tian Hong, a half-step Emperor realm cultivator. He was the strongest if no Emperor realm cultivator appeared. He also wanted to pull out the spear from the stone wall, but even after using all of his strength, it was still useless. He couldn't pull out the spear from the stone wall. Thus, everyone was indescribably shocked. Even Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju, who saw this scene through the dazzling light mirror technique, were moved. Previously, they had already searched the treasure grotto heaven carefully. They had already taken all the royal-grade Dao soldiers that they could take away. However, they did not see the spear stuck in the stone wall, especially Long Xiaoju. She even walked past the stone wall, but she did not see the spear stuck in the stone wall. "Junior sister, do you want to try?" Xiao Ya suddenly asked Long Xiaoju. "Me? Sure." Hearing this, Long Xiaoju entered the golden door in a flash. Xiao Ya was speechless. She only said it casually, but Long Xiaoju entered the treasure vault directly. She really deserved to be slapped. Long Xiaoju entered the hidden treasure paradise. How could it return empty-handed after entering a treasure mountain? Even if she could not pull out the spear stuck in the stone wall, she would still target the other Dao soldiers. Now that Ji Yufei was in seclusion, everything on Myriad Buddha Mountain was decided by Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju. After Long Xiaoju entered the treasure vault, the experts of the West Sea Dragon Clan were delighted. With Long Xiaoju around, they would not have to worry about finding Emperor Realm Dao soldiers. However, Long Xiaoju immediately rushed to pull out the spear stuck in the stone wall. "Your Second Highness," Forefather Tian Hong retreated to the side when he saw Long Xiaoju coming over. "Even you can't pull it out?" Long Xiaoju looked at Forefather Tian Hong in disbelief. "Your Second Highness, I can't pull it out." Forefather Tian Hong's face turned red with embarrassment. He was a half-step Emperor Realm expert, but he couldn't even pull out a battle spear that was stuck in the rock wall. This was too embarrassing. Long Xiaoju was Ji Yufei's second disciple. Ji Yufei's subordinates all called Long Xiaoju the Second Highness, while Xiao Ya was the goddess. No one dared to be disrespectful to the two of them. Even Huang Fuzun, a super antique, was the same. However, Huang Fuzun was just flaunting his seniority in front of little Ya and Long Xiaoju, but he definitely didn't dare to be presumptuous in front of them. Huang Fuzun was trying his best to suppress the lotus formation, so he had no time to pull out the spear. Come. Everyone, come and line up. Let's see who is fated with this spear," Long Xiaoju said to the experts in the distance. After a short moment of silence, the experts rushed towards the stone wall as if they were on steroids. Soon, all the experts who hadn't found their own Dao soldiers lined up in front of the stone wall. All the experts couldn't wait to see if they had any affinity with the spear stuck in the stone wall. Whoever could pull out the spear would be the owner of the spear. The Black Dragon King was at the front. "Black Dragon King, you're up," Long Xiaoju said. "Yes, Your Highness." The Black Dragon King was incomparably excited as he strode forward. He directly grabbed the spear that was stuck in the stone wall and slowly exerted strength. He was not in a hurry. However, as the Black Dragon King's power continued to increase, his expression turned grave. In the end, he exerted all his strength, and his black face turned red. However, it was useless. The spear in the stone wall didn't move at all. "Haha, Black Dragon, if you can't do it, let me do it." The Purple Dragon King laughed. "Purple Dragon, you," the Black Dragon King was shocked and angry. The Purple Dragon King was at the peak of the monarch realm in the Purple Dragon tribe. He was extremely powerful, and the Black Dragon King was still a distance away from him. "All right, you do it then." The Black Dragon King had no choice, because he couldn't pull the spear out. "This isn't a Buddhist soldier. Why is it stuck here? What's going on?" The Fierce Tiger King whispered to the North Garrison King. "How would I know? However, there must be a reason why this spear appeared here," the North Garrison King said. He stared at the spear with jealousy. However, it was difficult to take away an Emperor-level Dao soldier as long as the weapon soul was not dormant. To a certain extent, Dao soldiers were chosen, and Dao soldiers were chosen. The weapon soul is still here. How is it possible for these guys to pull the spear out? Outside the treasure cave, Xiao Ya looked at the scene in front of her and sneered. She was the first person in the Void Realm to be Ji Yufei's disciple. She had followed Ji Yufei for the longest time and received the most teachings from Ji Yufei. It wasn't strange for a Dao soldier of this level to have a weapon soul. In order to subdue a weapon soul, one would need overwhelming power. However, no one in the treasure cave had been able to completely suppress the power of the weapon soul in the spear. Therefore, these people were going to be unlucky. At that moment, a figure appeared behind Xiao Wei silently. Hey! Xiao Wei turned around abruptly. She was already holding a flying knife in her hand. When she saw the person's face, she was stunned. Master! This person was actually Ji Yufei. I'm just a clone. Ji Yufei said. He had obtained an innate stone golem clone in the domain of the falling stars. After his refinement, this innate stone golem clone was extremely powerful and could display the power of an Emperor Realm expert. Moreover, it was Ji Yufei's clone. It was far stronger than an ordinary Emperor Realm expert. The body of an innate stone golem was extremely powerful. After being refined by Ji Yufei, it was comparable to a top-grade Emperor Realm Dao soldier. His doppelganger was like a humanoid top-notch Emperor Realm Dao soldier. This Master, Xiao Wei didn't dare to be negligent. Even if it was Ji Yufei's clone, it was still controlled by her master's will. I'm just here to take a look. Ji Yufei's doppelganger stared at the scene in front of him. At that moment, the Amethyst Dragon King went up, but the result was the same. It still couldn't pull the spear out. Then, one expert after another went up and tried to pull the spear out of the stone wall. However, without exception, they all failed. Interesting. Seeing this, Ji Yufei's clone smiled. Then, he took a step forward and entered the treasure cave. Xiao Wei hurriedly followed. Could it be that her master came for the spear? Very soon, Ji Yufei's clone and Xiao Wei arrived in front of the stone wall. Greetings, Master, greetings, Senior Ji Yu. The red-browed Eagle King and the others called him Master, but the Amethyst Dragon King and the others called him Senior because they weren't Ji Yufei's subordinates. Master, why are you here? Chapter 5289. The sudden arrival of Ji Yufei's innate stone golem shocked all the experts in the hidden treasure grotto. Red-browed Eagle King and the rest even thought that it was Ji Yufei's main body, because no one could see through Ji Yufei's innate stone golem. Master, why are you here? Long Xiaoju couldn't help but be shocked when she saw Ji Yufei's clone. The thought of her cheating made her even more uneasy. This is Master's clone. Xiao Wei looked at the crowd and said, "Se, clone." Everyone was shocked when they heard this. Even with their cultivation, they couldn't see that the master in front of them was a clone. Continue. Xiao Wei took out a chair, and Ji Yufei's clone sat down. Everyone looked at each other when they heard this, not knowing what to do. Master said to let you continue, so you should continue. Xiao Wei, who stood behind Ji Yufei's clone, glanced at the experts and said, Dao weapons belong to those who are fated. All the Dao treasures and Dao weapons here belong to you as long as you can take them. Ji Yufei's clone said calmly, Master, what if I can't take it? Red-browed Eagle King really wanted to get the spear stuck in the stone wall. If you can't take it, continue searching. Ji Yufei's clone still had a calm expression. Yes. Red-browed Eagle King retreated. After hearing Ji Yufei's clone's words, the experts who hadn't tried to pull the spear out were surprised and overjoyed. Since Master said so, why are you still hesitating? Long Xiaoju shouted at the group of experts. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Senior Ji Yu. The experts were overjoyed. Someone immediately went forward to pull out the spear that was stuck in the stone wall. However, the spear seemed to have grown out of the stone wall and couldn't be pulled out at all. Master, this. Xiao Wei looked at Ji Yufei's clone. This is an item of the Tian clan. Ji Yufei's clone said. What? Third junior sister's stuff. Why are you here? Xiao Wei was taken aback. Even Long Xiaozhou's mouth was wide open in shock. Do you think that the relationship between the Sky clan and the Buddha clan is very good? Ji Yufei's doppelganger said indifferently. Everyone was even more shocked. Could it be that a great war had erupted between the Tian clan and the Buddha clan? Someone from the Celestial clan even charged into the Buddha clan's hidden treasure grotto heaven? No one knows about the enmity between the two races, except for themselves. Ji Yufei's clone said. He was not very clear about the matters between the Tian clan and the Buddha clan, but he could sense the aura of the Tian clan from the spear stuck in the stone wall. Alright, I think you guys should disperse. Other than the people from the Tian clan, Only I can pull out this spear. As Ji Yufei's clone spoke, he stood up. Yes, Red-Browed Eagle King and the others immediately retreated. They scattered in all directions and continued to search for their Dao soldiers. Although the experts of the West Sea Dragon clan were unwilling, they couldn't pull out the battle spears from the stone walls. Now that they knew the origin of the battle spears, they were even more unwilling to give up. One must know that this spear belonged to the Tian clan. This meant that the origin of this spear was too great. It was definitely an Emperor rank Dao soldier. It might even be a peak Emperor rank Dao soldier. This was because even a half-step Emperor realm expert like Ancestor Tian Hong could not pull out the spear from the stone wall. Some people were still watching from where they were because they wanted to see if Ji Yufei's clone could pull out the spear from the stone wall. Master, can you really pull out the spear from the stone wall? Long Xiaoju was really curious. Ji Yufei's clone smiled and casually waved his hand. Swoosh! The spear that was stuck in the stone wall actually flew out and landed in the hands of Ji Yufei's clone. Everyone who saw this scene was so shocked that their jaws almost dropped to the ground. How could this be? Long Xiaozhou's eyes were wide open. I told you, this spear belongs to the Tian clan. Ji Yufei's doppelganger held the spear in his right hand and exerted force. A powerful force immediately surged into the spear, directly erasing a brand inside the spear. This spear is not bad. Ji Yufei's clone casually stabbed the spear into the ground. Master, this spear, Long Xiaozhou's eyes lit up. Whoever wants it can take it. Isn't it just an Emperor rank Dao soldier? Ji Yufei's clone casually waved his hand. This peerless Dao soldier that everyone wanted was nothing in his eyes. Perhaps only eternal level Dao soldiers could catch his eye. However, not everyone had the same vision as Ji Yufei. Heh. Long Xiaoju reached out with her right hand and grabbed the spear that was stuck in the ground. Just as she was about to grab the spear, a hand reached out from the side. Bam! Two jade-like hands clapped against each other. The two figures instantly separated. Big senior sister, you want this spear too? The one who stopped Long Xiaoju was Xiao Ya. Who wouldn't want such a peerless Dao soldier? Xiao Ya smiled. If you want to fight, just say it. Ji Yufei's clone smiled. Master, I would like to spar with junior sister Long. I wonder if that's possible. Xiao Ya bowed to Ji Yufei's clone and said. Fight, fight. It's best to fight more often so that your cultivation can improve. Ji Yufei's clone said as he sat back on the chair. Junior sister, since master has said so, how about we fight? Xiao Ya looked at Long Xiaoju and said. Big senior sister, I'm not trying to nag you, but with your current cultivation, aren't you looking for trouble if you fight with me? Long Xiaoju crossed her arms and chuckled. She was a King Realm cultivator while Xiao Ya was only a half-step King Realm cultivator. The gap was huge. You've only joined the sect for a short time, don't you know that Master can already compete with Emperor Realm old monsters in King Realm? Although I'm a half-step Divine King, as Master's disciple, I can still challenge Divine Kings. Xiao Ya said proudly. What? Long Xiaoju was shocked. Xiao Ya had followed Ji Yufei for the longest time, so she naturally received Ji Yufei's true teachings. She only received Ji Yufei's formation Dao inheritance. Long Xiaoju hadn't had the chance to learn Ji Yufei's other inheritances. Alright, then this little sister will experience senior sister's great moves. Long Xiaoju flipped her right hand and a halberd appeared in her hand. She was petite, but she used a heavy Dao tool like the halberd. Even Ji Yufei's clone was surprised. Long Xiaoju didn't use her formation Dao. This made Xiao Ya a little unhappy. Is Long Xiaoju looking down on me? Xiao Ya stomped on the ground with her right foot and leaped up. Her palm lightly slapped toward Long Xiaoju. Chapter 5290. Little Ya and Long Xiaoju were actually fighting, which shocked the experts who were watching from afar. The two of them were senior sister and junior sister. Why were they fighting? This battle alarmed all the experts in the treasure grotto. All the experts stopped and were guessing what had happened between Little Ya and Long Xiaoju. At this moment, Little Ya struck out with her palm. A powerful yin-cold palm power surged out. A layer of frost instantly appeared on the ground, and the temperature of the entire void dropped rapidly. Divine moon palm? Long Xiaoju was stunned. The next moment, she shouted and the halberd in her hand slashed forward. The mighty divine moon palm power was directly split in half. The flowers and trees on both sides of Long Xiaoju were all frozen in an instant. Even the halberd in Long Xiaozhou's hand was covered in frost. However, the halberd in Long Xiaozhou's hand still slashed down at little Ya's head with great power. Little Ya put her hands together and actually clamped the blade of the halberd between her hands. The divine moon qi immediately surged towards the halberd. Then, a layer of frost appeared on the halberd, and this layer of frost directly spread along the halberd towards Long Xiaozhou's hands. Roar! Long Xiaoju roared and shook the halberd in her hand. The frost that covered the halberd was instantly shattered. A powerful wave of primordial qi erupted from the halberd and directly shook off little Ya's hands that were clamping the halberd blade. Little Ya was shocked. The next moment, she left behind an afterimage on the spot, but her real body had already dodged. Boom! The halberd fell and directly smashed a large pit where Long Xiaoju was originally standing. Soil flew everywhere. Some of the soil even flew towards Ji Yufei's doppelganger. However, there was an invisible qi wall around Ji Yufei's doppelganger. Nothing could touch him, and everything was sent flying by the qi wall. At this moment, little Ya used her body movement technique to fight with Long Xiaoju. Long Xiaoju was surrounded by little Ya's silhouette. Long Xiaozhou's cultivation was at the king realm, while little Ya's cultivation was only half a step to the king realm. If it was an ordinary half a step to the king realm, they might not even be able to withstand one move from Long Xiaoju. However, Xiao Ya was not an ordinary half-step monarch realm. This was not Ji Yufei's heaven treading steps, but the 8 desolation steps. This was a supreme movement technique that Ji Yufei had cultivated before. When cultivated to the extreme, one could travel all over the world in 8 steps. With Xiao Ya's cultivation at the half-step king realm, she was still unable to reach the level of traversing the world in 8 steps. But this 8 desolate steps caused Long Xiaoju to be badly battered, causing her to have a body full of abilities but nowhere to display them. Preposterous. Is this your confidence to challenge someone of a higher level? Keep hiding and not fighting back. Long Xiaoju roared. She waved the halberd in her hand frantically, but no matter how ruthless she was, no matter how much strength she used, the halberd in her hand could not even touch the corner of Xiao Ya's clothes. Ha ha! Isn't it easy for me to fight back? Xiao Ya laughed as she spoke and then punched out. Ascending secret technique. Xiao Ya's imposing aura instantly soared, and a violent force erupted from her fist, causing the space before her fist to seem as if it had condensed. Long Xiaoju felt cold air assault her body. The cold air penetrated deep into her skin, and it felt as if even her bone marrow was about to be frozen. This caused her to be shocked. Xiao Ya's strength had soared a great deal from before, and it was simply comparable to the attack of a monarch realm expert. No wonder Xiao Ya had the confidence to challenge me. Xiao Ya's punch was swift, ruthless, and accurate. Long Xiaoju only had time to raise the halberd in her hand horizontally to block before her body. Bam! Xiao Ya's fist smashed onto the shaft of the halberd in Long Xiaozhou's hand, and the entire shaft immediately bent. Long Xiaoju felt her arms shake, and the halberd in her hand and her arms were covered in a layer of frost. The cold air invaded her body, and her entire body felt as if it was about to be frozen. Roar! Long Xiaoju roared furiously, and powerful metal element energy surged out from her body, causing the frost that covered her arms to instantly shatter. She was a monarch realm expert after all, and her combat experience was extremely abundant. At this moment, Xiao Ya blasted another punch over. One of the 9 secrets of the immortal path, the secret art of ascension, had a time limit, so Xiao Ya had to defeat Long Xiaoju within the time limit of the secret art of ascension. This was the 5 elements fist, and the power of the 5 elements fist erupted from Xiao Ya's body, shaking the heavens and the earth. How is this possible? Long Xiaoju was really a little confused. Didn't her senior sister cultivate the power of yin? How did it become the power of the 5 elements now? She did not know that Xiao Ya had received teachings from Ji Yufei and also cultivated the mixed essence qi. The mixed essence qi was a good thing. It could refine all the spiritual energy of heaven and earth for one's own use, and the mixed essence qi could even transform into primordial chaos qi. Of course, it was not an easy thing for the mixed essence qi to transform into primordial chaos qi. Master said that nothing is impossible. Xiao Ya's right fist shook, and the power of her fist instantly increased by a great deal. This punch was indomitable, and it was simply indestructible. Even Long Xiaoju, who was in the monarch realm, felt threatened. Outrageous. Dragon roar to the 9 heavens. Long Xiaoju directly stabbed the halberd into the ground beside him, and then he frantically operated his mystic art, striking out the ultimate move of the West Sea Golden Dragon clan, the 9 heavens Golden Dragon Fist. Roar. A golden dragon shadow immediately rushed out of Long Xiaozhou's fist, pouncing at Xiao Ya with its fangs and claws bared. Boom! With a loud bang, the two figures instantly flew backward. Long Xiaoju was inexplicably shocked. Xiao Ya's punch was actually on par with his. She was only at the half-step monarch realm, while he was a genuine god king. A god king actually could not defeat a half-step monarch realm. No one would believe it. In the Void Realm, no one had ever been able to challenge an expert of a higher realm. Here, if a half-step monarch realm were to challenge a king realm, he would definitely be committing suicide. A king realm expert was an existence of the god king level, and one move could instantly defeat a half-step monarch realm expert. A challenge of a higher realm? What a joke! Long Xiaoju was shocked and angry. However, the reality was right in front of her, and she had no choice but to believe it. Again, Xiao Ya attacked with all her might. She operated the secret skill of ascension to the extreme, and a power wave comparable to the God King level erupted from her body, immediately causing the surrounding sand and stones to fly. Long Xiaozhou's right hand grabbed the halberd that was stabbed into the ground, and the halberd immediately flew back to her, and she caught it in her hand. The two figures clashed once again. Xiao Ya wanted to defeat Long Xiaoju within the duration of the secret skill of ascension. Otherwise, the one who would be abused would be her. Ji Yufei's doppelganger sat at the side and watched the show. He did not stop his two disciples, as long as they were not fighting each other. This battle would only determine the winner and loser, not life and death. This was because this battle was merely a spar between two disciples of Ji Yufei. Therefore, although the two seemed to be fighting fiercely, they did not really intend to kill each other. Chapter 5291. Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju actually started fighting in the treasure depository Grotto Heaven. Furthermore, it was in front of Ji Yufei's clone. This shocked the experts in the treasure depository Wonderland. All the experts in the treasure depository Wonderland were paying attention to this battle. In Ji Yufei's opinion, this battle was nothing much. It was just a sparring session between senior and junior sisters. However, in the eyes of the crowd, this battle was different. Although Xiao Ya was a senior sister, if she lost to Long Xiaoju, then her position in the hearts of the crowd would be lower than Long Xiaozhou's. This was because the Void Realm was a place where strength spoke. The strong were the ones that everyone respected. It had to be said that Xiao Ya was really heaven-defying. She had cultivated the various battle skills and secret skills that Ji Yufei had imparted to her very well. The power that she displayed was astonishing. In particular, the 9 secrets of the immortal path had made Long Xiaoju badly battered. He had almost fallen for it. However, the gap between the half-step monarch realm and the monarch realm was too big. Even if Xiao Ya displayed the secret skill of ascension, she could only fight Long Xiaoju to a draw. Moreover, this draw was not entirely true. She had used the trump cards that Ji Yufei had imparted to her. If they were at the same level, Long Xiaoju might not even be able to take one move. Long Xiaoju became more and more shocked. Was the master's battle path inheritance really that heaven-defying? It could make Xiao Ya, a half-step monarch realm, fight a genuine monarch realm expert to a draw? The more Xiao Ya fought, the more shocked she became. She was shocked that the time limit for her secret skill of ascension was almost up. The secret skill of ascension had a time limit. Once the time limit was up, Xiao Ya would instantly return to her original form. When that time came, she would be tortured by Long Xiaoju. Boom! Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju punched each other. In the next moment, the two figures were sent flying. Dragon binding hand. Xiao Ya's hands danced, and rays of divine light rushed out from her hands, turning into golden divine chains that wrapped around the small dragon boat that was being sent flying. In an instant, Long Xiaoju was firmly entangled by the golden divine chains. Roar! In the next moment, Long Xiaoju's body shook violently, and the dragon-binding golden chains wrapped around her body immediately shattered. Again, Long Xiaoju wanted to fight again. Enough! Ji Yufei's doppelganger, who was watching the show from the side, suddenly spoke. Long Xiaoju's body suddenly paused and directly stopped in the air. Both of you are very good. Ji Yufei stood up. Master, Long Xiaoju still wanted to fight. She didn't believe that she couldn't defeat Xiao Ya. At this time, the powerful aura on Xiao Ya's body began to recede like the tide. It was as if a high and mighty god king had directly fallen from the 9 heavens to the mortal world. Long Xiaoju sensed the change in Xiao Ya's aura. The current Xiao Ya might not even be able to take a punch from him, let alone engage in an endless battle with him. You two are equally matched in this battle. Ji Yufei's doppelganger directly came to a conclusion. At this time, Long Xiaoju didn't even need to think to know that Xiao Ya had just used some kind of secret technique to fight with him. That was a supreme secret technique that could allow people to skip levels and challenge higher realms. Thinking of this, Long Xiaoju was extremely curious. Master, the secret technique that senior sister used, Long Xiaoju was very clear that in the Void Realm, there had never been such a secret technique that could instantly increase one's combat strength and allow one to skip levels and challenge higher experts. Even if there was, it would be a secret technique that would perish together with the enemy, such as self-detonation. However, after Xiao Ya used this secret technique, there didn't seem to be any signs of Yuan Qi damage. In other words, this secret technique didn't have any side effects. Want to learn? Ji Yufei's doppelganger said. Yes. Long Xiaoju hurriedly nodded. This kind of secret technique would definitely make countless experts jealous. Even those peerless martial emperors would be jealous. Ask your senior sister to teach you. Ji Yufei's doppelganger said as he turned and left. Long Xiaoju was stunned. Junior sister, I'm taking this battle spear. As Xiao Ya spoke, she stepped forward and pulled out the battle spear that Ji Yufei's doppelganger had stabbed into the ground. This was an emperor-grade weapon and a top-notch Dao soldier. Senior sister, if you like it, feel free to take it. Long Xiaoju smiled. Right now, she had to do her best to please Xiao Ya because she wanted to learn the secret technique that Xiao Ya had just used. After Ji Yufei's doppelganger left the treasure depository Grotto Heaven, everyone continued to search for their Dao soldiers. However, it wasn't easy to find Dao soldiers that truly belonged to them. At this time, Ji Yufei's real body was still in the 10,000 Buddha Hall at the peak of Myriad Buddha Mountain, refining the ball of devil origin that he had obtained from the extreme demon cave. The ball of devil origin in the extreme demon cave was at the boundless grade. Even Ji Yufei wouldn't be able to refine this ball of devil origin in a short period of time. Right now, the 10,000 Buddha Hall was shrouded by a ball of devil qi. In the distant sky, there were 3 figures shrouded in Buddhist light. Behind the heads of these 3 powerful Buddhist clan experts, there were golden rainbows formed by Buddhist light. What is that guy doing? A Buddhist supreme with 2 long eyebrows asked. He was none other than the long eyebrows Buddhist supreme. Sigh. Devil Qi actually appeared on the sacred mountain of the Buddha race. If the believers outside were to see this, the position of the Buddha race among the believers would be awkward. The Earth Buddhist Supreme sighed. His refining the devil origin. The Sky Buddhist Supreme suddenly said. What, that guy has really gone mad. The other Buddhist supremacies were shocked. In their eyes, the devil origin in the depths of the extreme demon cave was something that couldn't be erased. The extreme demon cave was simply a nightmare for the Buddhist supremacies. It was the existence of the extreme demon cave that had dragged the Buddha race here for countless years. Without the extreme demon cave, Middle Sky wouldn't be in its current state. Everyone said that Middle Sky belonged to the Buddhist supremacies and the heavenly race. However, the true overlord of Middle Sky was the heavenly race. After all, the heavenly race was the strongest power in Middle Sky. The relationship between the Buddha race and the heavenly race was a little complicated. These two powerful races had once fought against each other. However, for some unknown reason, they had stopped fighting. Ever since then, the two races had coexisted peacefully for countless years. On the surface, everything seemed peaceful. However, the two races were still fighting in the dark. Who cares? The long eyebrows Buddhist Supreme said helplessly. What are you three fellas doing here? Just at this moment, a voice rang out from behind the three Buddhist supremacies. What? The three Buddhist supremacies were taken aback. To think that someone would appear behind them without them realizing it. If this person were to strike at them, they would definitely be dead meat. It's you. Chapter 5292. The Buddhist race's Buddhist supremes had been keeping an eye on the myriad Buddha mountain, afraid that Jiyu Fei would cause trouble. However, the more one was afraid of something, the more likely it would happen. When the devil energy appeared on the myriad Buddha mountain, the Buddhist supremes couldn't sit still. Especially the heavenly Buddha Supreme, the earth Buddha Supreme, the man Buddha Supreme, the long-browed Buddha Supreme, and the sky dragon Buddha Supreme. They were all old antiques and old monsters, so they naturally guessed what Jiyu Fei was doing in the myriad Buddha hall. The power of the devil Tao was also a form of power. Over the years, countless people had wanted to obtain this power from the extreme devil cave. This was because it was an invincible power. Whoever could control this power would be invincible and unify the void realm. Therefore, countless heretical cultivators had been eyeing the extreme devil cave. Even Barbarian Yu had his eyes on the extreme devil cave. However, how could it be easy to control such a power? Moreover, the power of the extreme devil cave wasn't ownerless. It had a master, which was why there were so many corpses in the extreme devil cave. This time, the will of the extreme devil cave had been refined by Jiyu Fei. Therefore, the source of the devil Tao had become ownerless. Jiyu Fei wanted to refine the source of the devil, but it wasn't easy. However, if Jiyu Fei could really refine the power of the devil Tao, he would truly be invincible. At that time, who would be able to suppress him? On this day, the heavenly Buddha Supreme, the long-browed Buddha Supreme, and the earth Buddha Supreme came again. However, before they could say a few words, they were so shocked by the sudden appearance of a person that they almost fell from the sky. It's you. When they saw who it was, their shock was no small matter, especially the long-browed Buddha Supreme. He staggered and fell hundreds of meters. Weren't you at the myriad Buddha hall? The heavenly Buddha Supreme forced himself to calm down. That's right. Tao friend Jiyu, why did you come out? The earth Buddha Supreme looked at Jiyu Fei as if he was looking at a monster. I've stayed here for too long, so I came out to stretch my muscles. Jiyu Fei's clone said. The three old fogies simply couldn't tell that the Jiyu Fei in front of them was only Jiyu Fei's carnate stone golem clone. As for Jiyu Fei's doppelganger, he naturally wouldn't say it out loud. That would be fun. Come out to stretch your muscles. The heavenly Buddha Supreme looked towards the peak of myriad Buddha mountain. There was still demonic energy lingering there. That powerful demonic power was constantly destroying the Buddhist power of myriad Buddha mountain. What's wrong? Are you guys also eyeing my mana source? Jiyu Fei's doppelganger laughed. I wouldn't dare. The earth Buddha Supreme hurriedly said. TCH, why wouldn't you dare? Where's your ancestor? Jiyu Fei's doppelganger said disdainfully. Ancestor? He has gone to travel the world. The long-browed Buddhist Supreme replied. This mirage is so small. What's there to wonder about? Why don't you join me? I'll show you what a big world is like. Jiyu Fei's clone said proudly. Big world. Big world. The heavenly Buddha Supreme and the others were taken aback. Could the legend be true? Was there a higher-level world other than the mirage? Alright, you guys can think about it. Jiyu Fei's doppelganger instantly disappeared into the void. At the same time, North Ruins, Ghost Emperor Mountain. With a loud bang, The entire Ghost Emperor mountain shook. Countless formation patterns in the void dissipated, and two extremely powerful figures rushed out from the peak of Ghost Emperor Mountain. Ha ha! I'm finally free. A figure covered in death energy laughed at the sky. Me. Don't celebrate too early. The other figure sneered. Lin Xiaotian, what are you talking about? The Ghost Emperor said angrily. Temph, you broke Huang Fuzun's killing formation. How could he not feel it? Lin Xiaotian mocked. What? The Ghost Emperor couldn't help but be shocked. Maybe Huang Fuzun is coming here. Lin Xiaotian said indifferently. You're very calm. Huang Fuzun's target is the two of you. Ghost Emperor gnashed his teeth. If it were not for Lin Xiaotian's trick, which led the old guy, Huang Fuzun, to Ghost Emperor Mountain, he would still be living comfortably in Ghost Emperor Mountain at this time. Well, since we've all become enemies with Huang Fuzun, let's join forces. Lin Xiaotian said disapprovingly. Join forces? Huang Fuzun has Ji Yufei as his backer. We don't have any backer. How can we fight with them? This is simply courting death. The Ghost Emperor was furious. Who was Ji Yufei? He was the guy who dared to fight with Ling Tian Palace Master. Since ancient times, Ling Tian Palace Master was the strongest in the world recognized by the Mirage. He had almost attacked the ancestral land of the Tian clan. How could the Ghost Emperor not be afraid of such a powerful person? Why don't we find a backer too? Lin Xiaotian said. What? What backer can we find? The Ghost Emperor stared at Lin Xiaotian and almost went crazy. He didn't want to provoke Huang Fuzun, or even Ji Yufei behind Huang Fuzun. If he provoked Ji Yufei, he would end up miserably. Didn't I say it before? It's the demons of the eastern wilderness. As long as we plan carefully, Lin Xiaotian sneered. Do you want to drag the demon clan down? A cold light flashed in the Ghost Emperor's eyes when he heard this. The demon clan of the East Wasteland was an extremely powerful race, and the inheritance of the demon clan of the East Wasteland was also extremely long. The Demon Emperor was the most powerful existence among the four emperors. Even the old Dragon Emperor of the Dragon Clan of the West Sea was no match for the Demon Emperor. Some people said that the Demon Emperor's cultivation had broken through to the legendary Supreme Emperor realm. Of course, this was just a rumor. It was not very credible. On that day, the four emperors gathered in an ancient relic and wanted to open a mysterious door somewhere, but the four emperors could not open the mysterious door. The Demon Emperor had only teamed up with the other three emperors to attack once. Well, if you can drag the demon clan of the East Wasteland into the water, I promise to join forces with you. The Ghost Emperor said helplessly. Okay, then you wait. Lin Xiaotian said as he rushed down from the sky and directly grabbed East King. They did not stop and directly left the Ghost Emperor Mountain. Seeing this guy finally scram, the Ghost Emperor also breathed a sigh of relief. The Ghost Emperor looked in the direction where Lin Xiaotian disappeared, and his eyes became vicious. These two guys made me so anxious. I will remember this debt. The Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins was a vengeful person. However, he was also very careful. If the opponent was too strong, he naturally did not have the guts to seek revenge. Like Ji Yufei, even if Huang Fuzun destroyed the Ghost Emperor Mountain, he would definitely not dare to settle the debt with Ji Yufei. However, if Lin Xiaotian could drag the demon clan of the East Wasteland into the water, it would be a different story. Chapter 5293. Lin Xiaotian was an old antique who had lived for countless years. He might be from the same era as Huang Fuzun, so he had some understanding of Huang Fuzun. Moreover, this guy was very capable. He actually dragged the North Ruins Ghost Emperor down with him. Whether the North Ruins Ghost Emperor was willing or not, he had to face Huang Fuzun and the person behind him, Ji Yufei. This depressed the North Ruins Ghost Emperor to the point of vomiting blood. However, the North Ruins Ghost Emperor wasn't someone to be trifled with. He wouldn't ally with Lin Xiaotian so easily. Even if they did, they wouldn't be able to defeat Ji Yufei at all. The barbarian monarch was a good example. If they wanted to deal with Ji Yufei, they had to involve the Eastern Wasteland demon race. The West Sea dragon race was one thing, but Long Xiaoju was Ji Yufei's disciple. It was already good enough that the old dragon monarch didn't attack them. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor's forces couldn't be underestimated. His spies were all over the North Ruins, and he had planted many in Middle Heaven and other regions as well. Inside the Ghost Emperor Palace on Ghost Emperor Mountain, the Ghost Emperor sat on his throne. He held a jade slip in his hand that contained information about Gu Fei. Gu Fei is on the Myriad Buddha Mountain. The Ghost Emperor was very surprised. Gu Fei had stayed on Myriad Buddha Mountain for some time already. What was he doing there? The Ghost Emperor wasn't the only one curious. Even the great figures of other regions were curious to death. In the Buddhist land where the Buddhist race was located, all the major powers had sent their spies in. However, these spies could not enter the boundaries of the Myriad Buddha Mountain. They couldn't find out what Gu Fei was doing on the Myriad Buddha Mountain either. In the entire Void Realm, only a few people knew what Gu Fei was doing in the 10,000 Buddha Hall. Even the Red-Browed Eagle King and the others didn't know that Gu Fei was refining the Devil Origin in Extreme Devil Cave. Moreover, the news that Gu Fei had obtained the Peerless Devil Origin from Extreme Devil Cave was not only known to the Buddha race's Buddhist venerables, Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju, but also the Sky race's old ancestor, Yuxian. Yuxian couldn't leave the Tian clan's ancestral land for too long, so she didn't return to the Myriad Buddha Mountain. Moreover, the relationship between the Sky clan and the Buddha clan was very subtle. Yuxian wasn't willing to stay in the Buddha clan's territory for too long. Gu Fei did not care about the grudges between the heavenly race and the Buddha race. He didn't know that Lin Xiaotian was rushing to the Eastern Wasteland to deal with him. Lin Xiaotian was going to make trouble. However, the experts of the Eastern Wasteland Demon Clan were not fools. It was not easy to sow discord. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor was also restless. However, the Ghost Monarch's North Ruins wasn't very peaceful either. The White Bone Ridge's Bone Emperor would occasionally come out and cause trouble, giving the Ghost Monarch a huge headache. Boom! At this moment, in the depths of the treasure-hiding Grotto Heaven, there was a sudden loud noise. A powerful wave of Yuan Qi surged out from the depths of the Grotto Heaven. Ha ha! I've finally succeeded. A loud laugh rang out, and the rolling sound waves spread out, echoing throughout the Treasure Vault Grotto Heaven. All the experts in the hidden Treasure Grotto Heaven were alarmed. It's Huangfu Zun. Outside the entrance of the Treasure Vault Grotto Heaven, Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju were alarmed. That guy, Long Xiaoju, was very displeased. She had just obtained the cultivation method of the secret art of ascension from Xiao Ya, and she was studying it right now. Gu Fei's 9 Secrets of Immortal Tao was a perfect interpretation of the 9 Great Taos. Although it was only one of the 9 secrets, the secret art of ascension was incomparably profound. Long Xiaoju was immediately captivated by the secret art after receiving it. Now that she was suddenly disturbed, she was naturally very displeased. East King, and Lin Xiaotian, if I let you escape again, I'll be your grandson. Huangfu Zun roared angrily and rushed out of the Treasure Vault Grotto Heaven. He soared into the sky, left Myriad Buddha Mountain, and headed towards the North Ruins. So urgent. Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju were stunned. Was Huangfu Zun in a hurry to reincarnate? In fact, East King and Lin Xiaotian had become Huangfu Zun's sore points. He was determined to kill them. However, Huangfu Zun didn't know that Lin Xiaotian had left the North Ruins with East King and was heading to the East Baron. Huangfu Zun, that lunatic, very soon, in the Ghost Emperor Palace at the peak of Ghost Emperor Mountain, the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins had received the news that Huangfu Zun had left Myriad Buddha Mountain and was heading for the North Ruins. Lin Xiaotian really did a lot of harm to people. If I don't teach him a lesson, he'll think he's invincible. The Ghost Emperor rushed out of the Ghost Emperor Mountain. Huangfu Zun entered the North Ruins and headed for the Ghost Emperor Mountain in a threatening manner. However, he was intercepted by the Ghost Emperor halfway. In the sky above a nameless barren mountain, the two experts met. Their murderous auras shook the world and changed the color of the wind and clouds. Huangfu Zun, how dare you come? The Ghost Emperor glared at Huangfu Zun and said fiercely, "Hand over East King and Lin Xiaotian." That was all Huangfu Zun said. "You're too late." They've left the North Ruins a long time ago. The Ghost Emperor said coldly. Then go to hell. Huang Fu-zun threw a punch at the Ghost Emperor in front of him. A tiger-shaped fist energy pounced at the Ghost Emperor violently. How dare you? The ghostly emperor was infuriated. He also punched out. A terrifying ghostly shadow rushed out from his fist and met the incoming tiger head-on. Boom! With a loud bang, the two terrifying fist forces collided with each other. In the next moment, two figures were sent flying backward. An extremely powerful yuan qi fluctuation spread out. The mountain below crumbled instantly, and dust rose high into the sky. Before the countless living beings in the mountain range could react, they were instantly killed. This was what it meant when immortals fought and living beings suffered. Although this was a nameless mountain and there weren't any powerful living beings, weak living beings were still living beings, and they were still living beings. However, in the eyes of Huang Fu-zun and the Ghost Emperor, these living beings were nothing but ants. Huang Fu-zun hadn't used his trump card yet. He wanted to play with the Ghost Emperor first. The Ghost Emperor was not to be trifled with. High up in the sky, the two great experts fought back and forth. The constant burst of vital energy shook the earth. This was the combat strength of the peak of the Emperor realm. God slaying by 10,000 ghost. The Ghost Emperor roared. In the next moment, an endless aura of death erupted from his body and enveloped the entire world. The world seemed to have turned into a dark night. Countless ghostly shadows appeared in the void and pounced at Huang Fu-zun. These ghostly shadows were not formed by the Ghost Emperor's vital energy. They were truly terrifying malicious ghosts, and each of them was bursting with a monstrous aura of the Ghost Tao. The ghostly sovereign had spent a great deal of effort to subdue all sorts of ferocious ghosts. Chapter 5294. After Huang Fu-zun refined the Buddha Lotus Formation platform, he immediately went to the North Ruins. There was no way he would let the East King and Lin Xiaotian go. That Lin Xiaotian was too cunning and detestable. He was drawing hatred everywhere for him. Huang Fu-zun was no fool. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to cultivate to the Emperor realm and become the first person in the history of the Void realm to become an emperor with formations. Lin Xiaotian drew hatred everywhere for him. Wherever they went, the forces they encountered were annihilated by Huang Fu-zun. However, things were different this time. Lin Xiaotian had lured Huang Fu-zun to the North Ruins and made him fight the North Ruins Ghost Emperor. Last time, he had to go to the Myriad Buddha Mountain because of Jiyu Fei's summons. Now, he was intercepted by the North Ruins Ghost Emperor when he was halfway there. The two monarchs didn't say much when they met. They fought immediately. In the sky above a barren mountain at the border of the North Ruins and the Middle Sky, two powerful emperor-level powers collided continuously. Two figures moved quickly in the sky. The dull sounds of the collisions resounded in the sky like muffled thunder. It was incredibly shocking. The mighty emperor-level power that came down from the sky directly shattered the mountain ridges. Countless living beings were turned into blood mist, and they couldn't be more dead than they already were. To the high and mighty Shen King level experts, these weak living beings were no different from ants. 10,000 ghosts slaughtering gods. The Ghost Emperor used his trump card. Monstrous ghostly energy enveloped the entire sky and earth. The sky darkened in an instant, and countless ghostly shadows appeared within the ghostly energy. The ghostly shadows pounced at Huang Fu-zun. Huang Fu-zun was shocked. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor was quite capable. Otherwise, how could he have become the master of the North Ruins? You're cultivating the 10,000 ghosts slaughtering gods art? Huang Fu-zun flipped his right hand, and a golden Buddha lotus appeared in his hand. Buzz! After a deafening sound, the golden Buddhist lotus in Huang Fu-zun's right hand burst out a ball of brilliant Buddhist light. Under the illumination of the golden Buddha light, the ghost qi around Huang Fu-zun was quickly dispersing. The fierce ghost shadows that were lunging at Huang Fu-zun all screamed and backed off with smoke rising from their bodies. What? The North Ruins Ghost Emperor couldn't help but be shocked when he saw this. He didn't expect Huang Fu-zun to bring a great treasure of the Buddha race. This Buddha treasure was incredible, and it was his nemesis. At this moment, The Buddhist lotus in Huang Fuzun's hand flew up and enlarged quickly. Huang Fuzun then jumped up and sat cross-legged on the lotus. At this moment, Huang Fuzun, the old man, had the bearing of a Buddhist master. Of course, the dirty old man was still a dirty old man. It was impossible for him to become a follower of Buddhism just because of a Buddhist lotus array platform, much less become an almighty Buddhist. Huang Fuzun, when did you join the Buddha clan? The North Ruins Ghost Emperor said angrily. At this time, countless ghost shadows still appeared in the void around Huang Fuzun, ready to pounce at any time. The ghosts that the North Ruins Ghost Emperor had refined were extremely powerful. They could kill without leaving a trace, but this time, they had met their nemesis. The dozen or so ghosts that were illuminated by the Buddhist light were already greatly weakened. Tui, you think I would join the Buddha race? Huang Fuzun was furious when he heard this. The Buddha race is nothing. Didn't my master still get his hands on the myriad Buddha mountain? Even the progenitor of the heavenly race, Yuziana, had become my master's disciple. Only an unparalleled existence like Ji Yu Fei was qualified to be my master. You are about to die, and yet you still want to squabble here? I will send you on your way. Huang Fuzun immediately activated the Buddhist Lotus Array platform. In the next moment, countless formation patterns rushed out of the Buddhist Lotus Array platform and imprinted themselves on the void around it. Wherever the formation patterns went, the eerie ghost chi dissipated. This was the formation inside the Buddhist Lotus Array platform. This kind of formation was naturally a Buddhist formation, and Buddhist formations were the nemesis of evil and unorthodox paths. Whoosh! Seeing that the situation was bad, the Ghost Emperor immediately retreated. Countless Buddhist formation patterns shrouded the North Ruins Ghost Emperor, causing the ghost chi around him to dissipate continuously. One after another, the ghostly shadows swiftly retreated. A shrill scream suddenly rang. A ghostly shadow was hit by several Buddhist formation patterns and began to struggle violently in the air. In just a few seconds, the ghostly shadow turned into black energy and dissipated into the void. Damn it! The North Ruins Ghost Emperor was furious. These 10,000-year-old ghosts were not easy to subdue. He had spent an endless amount of effort to subdue and refine hundreds of these incredibly powerful ghosts. But he had no choice. Huang Fuzun had finally used his trump card. He was actually using the Buddhist race's formation to deal with the North Ruins Ghost Emperor. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor had no choice but to retreat. Very quickly, a few more ghostly shadows were hit by the Buddhist race's formation patterns and turned to ash amidst their terrifying screams. Their bodies and souls were destroyed. You win. We will meet again. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor roared angrily. He waved his sleeves and withdrew all the ghostly shadows and ghostly energy into his sleeves. Then, he turned around and fled. Don't leave if you have the guts. Huang Fuzun roared angrily. However, the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins would not stop and fight him head-on. A beam of black light instantly flew far away and disappeared into the horizon. Lin Xiaotian is in the Eastern Wastelands East Sun City. Do you dare to go? The North Ruins Ghost Emperor's voice came from afar. What? The Eastern Wastelands East Sun City? Huang Fuzun's expression changed when he heard this. Lin Xiaotian was extremely cunning, and so was the East King. Were these two really planning to go this far? He was no fool. A single sentence from the North Ruins Ghost Emperor was enough to make him think of many things. Lin Xiaotian had helped Huang Fuzun draw hatred all the way to the Eastern Wastelands. It looked like Lin Xiaotian was about to make a big move. Huang Fuzun couldn't help but frown when he thought of this. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor was not his target. The East King and Lin Xiaotian, who was protecting him, were. Huang Fuzun pondered for a moment before changing directions and heading toward the Eastern Wastelands. Just as Huang Fuzun left, a figure appeared high up in the sky. This person was Ji Yu Fei. No, it should be Ji Yu Fei's innate stone man avatar. Ji Yu Fei's avatar had sensed Huang Fuzun the moment he left the myriad Buddha mountain. It had followed him all the way here and witnessed the great battle just now. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor's strength was undeniable. If he decided to go all out and fight Huang Fuzun, Even Huang Fuzun might not be able to handle him. The North Ruins Ghost Emperor had cultivated the Ghost Dao to this level. He was many times stronger than the Ghost Emperor of Fengdu in the human world. Chapter 5295. As the Lord of the North Ruins, the Ghost Emperor was naturally extremely powerful. Otherwise, how could he have dominated the North Ruins? However, ever since the battle with Huang Fuzun, he had a sense of uneasiness. It was as if something bad was about to happen to him. At this moment, as a monarch, he had a sense of danger. It was as if danger could appear at any time. Therefore, the Ghost Emperor returned to the Ghost Emperor Mountain and hid in the Ghost Emperor Palace. However, it seemed to be of no use. After he hid in the Ghost Emperor Palace, his sense of uneasiness grew even stronger. However, the feeling disappeared very quickly. He heaved a sigh of relief. Actually, the Ghost Emperor would never have imagined that his uneasiness came from Ji Yufei's innate Stone Man clone. Ji Yufei's innate Stone Man clone had been following behind the Ghost Emperor. Given Ji Yufei's cultivation in the Formation Dao, the Ghost Emperor Mountain's defensive formation was full of flaws in the eyes of Ji Yufei's innate Stone Man clone. He easily avoided all the open and hidden sentries on the Ghost Emperor Mountain and strolled around the mountain as if he was in an uninhabited land. In the entire Ghost Emperor Mountain, the Ghost Emperor was the only one who felt uneasy. The other experts of the Ghost Dao didn't feel anything at all. Ji Yufei's innate Stone Man clone had no intention of attacking at all. He walked around the Ghost Emperor Mountain for a while before leaving. At this time, Huang Fuzun had already entered the Eastern Barren Territory. An existence like him was immediately targeted by the demon race the moment he appeared in the Eastern Barren Territory. One should know that the battle between Huang Fuzun and the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins had already alarmed the Eastern Barren demon race. This was because the Eastern Barren demon race had taken advantage of the internal strife of the Southern Barren Territory to invade the Southern Barren Territory. The demon race's plan was very good. However, they never expected that the Southern Barren sovereign would be defeated by a nobody. The Southern Barren sovereign's death should have split the Southern Barren territory into pieces. Who would have thought that the guy called Ji Yufei would be able to quell the unrest so quickly? Even the sorcerer race had to lower their heads before the guy called Ji Yufei. As a result, the Southern Barren territory was once again united. The Eastern Barren demon race naturally didn't gain any benefits. Now that Huang Fuzun had entered the Eastern Barren territory, he naturally attracted the attention of the Eastern Barren demon race immediately. After all, Huang Fuzun was Ji Yufei's man. Moreover, he was the Emperor of Array. No one in the entire Void Realm could compare to him in the art of arrays. If this old madman started a massacre in the Eastern Barren demon race, it would be the Eastern Barren demon ruins. If this old madman started a massacre in the Eastern Barren of demon race, the Barren territory, demon of demon, ruins, and mountain. None, Ji Yufei of the ruins, and of Emperor, and Baron Chen as ruins, his appearance had also changed. He was now a dark and skinny cultivator. He was also a blade cultivator, and he carried a big black blade on his back. The back of the black blade was very thick, and it didn't seem to be sharpened. Such a blade was simply a common item. It was definitely not a divine weapon. Dongyang City was the closest city to Middle Sky in the Eastern Barren Territory. There were millions of creatures living in the city, and most of them were demons. On the streets of Dongyang City, there were all kinds of monsters. However, there were also a large number of humans in Dongyang City. These humans were on good terms with the demon race, and some even worked for them. What's more, many humans were enslaved by the demon race. This made Ji Yufei's carnate stone golem very unhappy. Walking through the streets of Dongyang City, Ji Yufei's stone golem attracted the attention of a lot of humans and demons, because he was a bit different. Dressed in black, with messy hair and a big black blade on his back, he looked like a beggar on the streets. "Brother, are you from the beggar gang?" Suddenly, a filthy fellow holding a bamboo stick in his right hand and a broken bowl in his left hand approached Ji Yufei's avatar and whispered to him in a low voice. "What beggar gang?" Ji Yufei's carnate stone golem avatar was really speechless. "Do I look like a beggar?" Gu Fei's carnate stone golem avatar said angrily. Brother, to be honest, you really look like one of us. The beggar looked at Gu Fei from head to toe and said. Scram, don't bother me. Gu Fei's avatar was very depressed. TCH, we're clearly one of us, but you still want to act high and mighty. I despise you. The middle-aged beggar sneered and ran away. Gu Fei's avatar almost coughed out blood. The surrounding people also looked at Gu Fei's avatar with strange gazes. It looks like I need to change my appearance. Gu Fei's avatar muttered to himself. Cloud Immortal Residence. Gu Fei's avatar came to an inn. This inn was really arrogant, comparing itself to an immortal residence. He raised his leg and was about to walk in. Where did this beggar come from? Scram. At this moment, a black-robed man walked out from the entrance of Cloud Immortal Residence. You told me to scram? Gu Fei's avatar was furious. But on second thought, he wasn't the famous Gu Fei. Look at you, if you're not a beggar, what are you? The black-robed man said with a look of disdain. What a snob. Gu Fei's avatar sneered. Who are you calling snob? The black-robed man was furious. I'm talking about you, so what? Gu Fei said coldly. Go and die. The black-robed man roared in anger and punched the head of Gu Fei's avatar. Gu Fei's avatar laughed coldly. Then, he punched the guy's face. The guy cried out in pain and was smashed into the Cloud Immortal Residence. Where did this blind thing come from? How dare you cause trouble in Cloud Immortal Residence? Are you tired of living? With a furious roar, over 10 figures rushed out from the Cloud Immortal Residence and surrounded Gu Fei's avatar. A middle-aged man with a white face and no beard walked out from Cloud Immortal Residence. Gu Fei's avatar saw through this guy with a single look. This guy was actually a demigod. Even the guards were demigods. It seemed like this Cloud Immortal Residence had a strong background. But so what? Gu Fei's avatar had no worries at all. Are you the one who injured my subordinate? The middle-aged man stared at Gu Fei's avatar with a vicious gaze. So what if I am? Gu Fei said expressionlessly. It's easy if it's you. Kill him. The middle-aged man waved his hand and the black-robed men surrounding Gu Fei's avatar charged forward with their weapons, wanting to kill Gu Fei's avatar. However, Gu Fei's avatar stood there motionlessly. He turned a blind eye to the weapons that were flying towards him, allowing them to slash at him. But at the next moment, everyone was stunned. All they saw was the sound of metal clashing when the weapons slashed at him. All the weapons were rebounded and some of them were dented. This. Chapter 5296. Eastern Baron, Dongyang City. This was one of the 5 most prosperous cities in the Eastern Baron. The Cloud Celestial House was the largest inn in Dongyang City. It was also the most famous inn in the Eastern Baron. The Cloud Celestial House had branches all over the Eastern Baron. There were even branches in other areas. But today, someone was causing trouble in the Cloud Celestial House. When the news spread, the entire street was shocked. Countless people watched from afar and no one dared to get close. At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. That was because the skinny rogue cultivator with a large black saber on his back was struck in the head by more than 10 weapons, but his body was completely unharmed. Instead, the weapons in the hands of the Cloud Immortal Abode's guards were damaged. It was as if they had hit an extremely hard rock. In fact, Gu Fei's avatar was really a rock. This, the middle-aged man's subordinates were shocked to the extreme. Some of them almost peed their pants. Who the hell are you? The middle-aged man's expression changed as well. Come. My body is itchy. Let me hit you a few more times. Gu Fei's natural-born stone man crooked his finger at the middle-aged man. Hit me a few more times. Gu Fei's stone man laughed. Seeing this, everyone was dumbfounded. What was going on? Someone actually asked someone to hit him with a blade. But at this moment, who would dare to hit this guy? Body refining technique? Don't think that just because you cultivated it for a few years, you can cause trouble in the Cloud Celestial House. The middle-aged man sneered and pulled out his long sword. A ray of cold light appeared in the middle-aged man's hand. Hey! Gu Fei's avatar was shocked because the sword in this guy's hand was also a semigod sword. No wonder this guy wasn't afraid of him. Normal weapons naturally can't hurt you, but the sword in my hand can take your head. The middle-aged man stared at the skinny, black guy in ragged clothes and sneered. Haha, Gu Fei's avatar laughed. Although he had changed his appearance, he still had the pride of an invincible cultivator. Why are you laughing when you are about to die? The middle-aged man stared at Gu Fei's clone, ready to attack at any time. I'm laughing at your arrogance. How can your sword be considered a divine weapon? Gu Fei's clone said in disdain. H. The weapon in my hand is a semi-divine artifact. How can an ordinary weapon compare to it? The middle-aged man said proudly. Only a demigod and a demigod sword could unleash their greatest battle prowess. Haha, I have a blade here that can compete with your divine sword. Gu Fei's doppelganger laughed. What did you say? Haha, a lone cultivator like you actually has a better divine weapon than me? What a joke. The middle-aged man looked down on this beggar-like fellow in front of him. Lord Supervisor, has this kid gone mad? Could it be that this brat's divine weapon is that big black saber on his back? The subordinates behind the middle-aged man mocked. Maybe the black blade on this guy's back is really a divine weapon. Haha, when the subordinates of the Cloud Immortal residents saw that the Lord Supervisor was standing up for them, they naturally weren't afraid of this lone cultivator. One must know that the Lord Supervisor was a demigod. In the eyes of ordinary people, a demigod was naturally a high and mighty figure. But how could this young man who dared to cause trouble in the Cloud Immortal residence be a match for a demigod? Although you guys are all snobs, your eyes aren't bad. The saber on my back is really a divine weapon. Gu Fei's clone said proudly. This guy really dares to say that. A broken saber is a divine weapon. Just at this moment, a voice rang out from the Cloud Immortal residence. Then, a young man with a folding fan walked out. This person had a faint demonic aura around him. He wasn't a human but a demon. Furthermore, he was a demon that could take on a human form. Only demons at the demon god realm could take on a human form and roam the world. Gu Fei's clone saw through this young man's background with a single look. This guy was just a fox demon. No wonder he was so arrogant. You're saying that my saber isn't a divine weapon? Gu Fei's clone laughed coldly. Isn't it? The saber on your back can be seen everywhere on the streets. Yet, you want to pass it off as a divine weapon? Do you think I'm blind? That young man had an arrogant look on his face. When he spoke, his nose was in the air. Young Master Qing, why are you here? This lowly one greets young Master Qing. When the housekeeper of the Cloud Immortal residence saw that young man, she was stunned for a moment. Then, she hurriedly bowed. The subordinates behind her had already knelt on the ground. This was the Eastern Wilderness, the world of the demon race. Humans didn't have a high status here. That young Master Qing nodded. Hihi, young Master Qing, right? Since you said that my saber is trash, do you dare to make a bet with me? Gu Fei's clone laughed. What bet? That young Master Qing seemed to be interested. Let's bet if the saber on my back can break the sword in this guy's hand. Gu Fei's clone pointed at the sword in the hands of the housekeeper and said, What did you say? You want to use your broken saber to break a half-god weapon? Young Master Qing was stunned. He suspected that he had heard wrongly. The broken saber on his opponent's back didn't have any spirituality at all. It wasn't even a spirit weapon. It was just an ordinary saber that couldn't be any more ordinary. Yet, he wanted to use it to break a half-god weapon. Wasn't this like using an egg to smash a rock? He looked at the big black saber on the back of Gu Fei's clone and the sword in the hands of the housekeeper. Just tell me if you dare or not. Gu Fei's clone's voice rang out. Haha, is there anything that I, young Master Qing, don't dare to do? However, I'm not making a bet with a nobody. Tell me, who are you? Young Master Qing wasn't stupid. Who would believe that someone who dared to cause trouble in front of the Cloud Immortal residents didn't have any background? Me. I'm Li Heidao, an itinerant cultivator from Zhongtian. I'm just here to train in the eastern wilderness. Ji Yufei's doppelganger casually gave himself a name. Li Heidao. Young Master Qing was so angry that he almost went berserk. What kind of lousy name was this? How could he not know that this guy in front of him was full of lies? He couldn't believe a single word. Li Heidao, this young master will bet with you. However, do you have the capital to bet with me? Young Master Qing looked at Li Heidao in disdain. Of course I do. Ji Yufei's clone replied. Then take it out and let me see. Young Master Qing didn't believe that this beggar-like guy in front of him would have anything on him that could catch his eye. My capital is right in front of you. Can't you see it? Ji Yufei's clone pretended to be shocked and said. Right in front of this young master? What nonsense are you talking about? Young Master Qing raged. I'm the capital. If I lose, you can do whatever you want to me. Ji Yufei's clone was incomparably cold and arrogant. Young Master Qing was infuriated. Fine, fine, fine. If you lose, I'll make you regret being born into this world. Young Master Qing gritted his teeth. You know my capital, but what about yours? Ji Yufei's clone also looked at young Master Qing in disdain. This guy was pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger again. You dare to look down on this young master? Just open your dog eyes wide and see. Young Master Qing took out a bead that was surrounded by spirit light. Everyone immediately felt an exuberant vitality rushing toward them. Not bad. Ji Yufei's clone nodded. Chapter 5297. The wood spirit orb was one of the 5 elemental spirit orbs, and it contained an enormous amount of wood elemental essence. In the cultivation world, a wood spirit orb was a cultivator's second life. No matter how serious a cultivator's injuries were, as long as they consumed a wood spirit orb, they would be able to recover in a short period of time. This was because wood elemental essence qi was life essence qi. The wood spirit orb that young Master Qing had taken out contained a powerful life essence qi. For Ji Yufei's carnate stone golem clone who had assumed the name Blackblade Li, this wood spirit orb was not bad. The look of disdain on the face of Ji Yufei's innate stone golem completely infuriated this young Master Qing. Then let's begin. Young Master Qing couldn't wait any longer. He wanted to defeat Li Heidao and make him regret being born into this world. Yes, young master. The manager of Cloud Immortal Residence immediately stood out and flashed the demigod sword in her hand. It had to be said that this sword was really dazzling. There seemed to be a layer of white light flowing on the sword's body, and a cold sword chi spread out from the sword's body. It was as if sword light would rush out from the sword at any time. The manager of Cloud Immortal Abode looked at Ji Yufei's clone with disdain and pride. What's wrong? You still haven't taken down that broken saber of yours. The steward said contemptuously. Haha, are you afraid of losing? Isn't this guy very arrogant? Are you afraid now? The subordinate of the steward mocked and ridiculed the rogue cultivator called Li Heidao. Humph. Ji Yufei's doppelganger pulled out the big black saber from its back. This big black saber was really a common item that could be found anywhere. In fact, Ji Yufei's clone had indeed bought a saber like this from the streets and carried it on his back. Then, he had transformed into the saber user Blackblade Li and roamed the eastern wilderness. Little fellow, if you kneel and beg for mercy, bark like a dog 3 times, then scram out of Dongyang City, then I'll spare you. Young Master Qing waved his fan and said proudly. The Fox clan was a large clan in the eastern wasteland, and young Master Qing was a god realm cultivator. Although he had a bad reputation in Dongyang City, his cultivation was not bad. Qing Yunfei, what did you say? You want to start a war with my Howling Sky clan? Right at this moment, a furious roar resounded from afar, and then a figure strode out from the crowd. This fellow had the head of a dog and the brain of a dog. Although he was in human form, one look was enough to tell that he was a great demon. TSK, what's wrong with me telling him to bark like a dog? What does it have to do with your Howling Sky clan? Young Master Qing sneered. You bastard. That person was enraged and was about to attack. Enough. At this moment, An elderly voice rang out from within the Cloud Immortal residence. Upon hearing this voice, young Master Qing and the Howling Sky Clan Great Demon were instantly terrified. Ji Yufei's clone looked into the Cloud Immortal residence. There was actually an expert guarding this place. However, this was one of the 5 most prosperous cities in the Eastern Wasteland. The Cloud Immortal residence had a strong foundation here, so they naturally had to send a powerful expert to guard this place. The Howling Sky Clan was actually a dog demon clan. Ji Yufei's clone naturally knew that the Howling Sky Clan was just a dog demon clan. Also, the dog demon clan had some power in the Eastern Wasteland. Otherwise, this dog demon clan wouldn't have dared to offend Qing Yunfei. Okay, let's continue the bet. Hurry up, I still need to eat. I'm hungry. Ji Yufei's clone, who had turned into Black Blade Li, cursed. HMPH, you want to be abused? I have no reason not to fulfill your wish. As young Master Qing spoke, he gave the general manager of the Cloud Immortal residence a look. Come, let me see how powerful your divine blade is, the general manager of the Cloud Immortal residence sneered. The manager of the Cloud Immortal house sneered. His tone was especially focused on the word divine blade. Haha, the surrounding people all laughed. Qing Yunfei, aren't you bullying us? Haha. The dog demon clan laughed. Dog leftovers, this young master is bullying others. Are your dog eyes blind? Young Master Qing gave the dog demon a look of disdain. What did you say? Dog leftover? F***CK. The dog demon clan was about to go crazy. Dog leftover, dog leftover, dog leftover. What's wrong? I told you. Young Master Qing shouted at the dog demon proudly. I'm going to kill you. The dog demon clan was going crazy. He was so angry that he couldn't even maintain his human form. A dog head kept appearing. TSK, a fox demon and a dog demon are fighting. It's really a case of the fox biting the dog and the dog biting the fox. Both of them have a mouthful of fur. Interesting, interesting. Ji Yufei's clone laughed heartily. After he said that, the entire street went silent. Everyone looked at Ji Yufei's clone as if he was a monster. Everyone was stunned. Was this guy really a human? He actually dared to say such words in the Eastern Wasteland, in Dongyang City, in front of the Cloud Immortal residence. He really didn't stop until he shocked everyone. Both the humans and the demons were stunned. What are you waiting for? Do you still want to bet? Ji Yufei's clone asked young Master Qing. These demons who were tyrannical in the Eastern Wasteland were like ants in front of him. Instead, he was surprised. Huangfu Zun came to Dongyang City earlier than him. Why didn't he make a move? Were East King and Lin Xiaotian not in Dongyang City? Of course, why not? Young Master Qing waved his hand. The general manager of the Cloud Immortal residence directly slashed at Ji Yufei's clone with her sword. With a flash of cold light, the sword was already in front of Ji Yufei's clone. All the humans and demons were waiting to see Ji Yufei's clone make a fool out of himself. This human dared to bet with young Master Qing with a broken sword that could be found anywhere on the street. Wasn't he looking for trouble? Even the dog demon clan stared at Ji Yufei's clone viciously. Because what Ji Yufei's clone said had completely offended the dog demon clan. Clang. The sound of metal colliding rang out. The next moment, a broken sword flew into the air and stabbed into the ground dozens of feet away. Then, everyone was dumbfounded. Their eyeballs almost fell to the ground. How is this possible? The general manager of the Cloud Immortal residence looked at the sword in her hand. Her voice was trembling and beads of sweat the size of soybeans appeared on her forehead. This, young Master Qing's hand trembled and the folding fan in his hand fell to the ground. The dog demon clan's eyes widened as well. Damn, that's possible. All the humans and demons were dumbfounded. This scene was so surreal that no one dared to believe it. However, they had to believe it. A broken saber actually cut a demigod sword in half. This was something that no one would believe even if it was told to others. But now, it had really happened in front of everyone's eyes. Chapter 5298. A broken blade actually broke the half-god sword in the hands of the supervisor of Cloud Immortal residence. This caused countless spectators on the street to be dumbfounded. There was complete silence. How is this possible? Everyone thought that they were hallucinating. Many people subconsciously rubbed their eyes. However, the truth was the truth. Your blade, young Master Ching glared at the guy called Li Heidao. This guy didn't even have a god realm cultivation. How could he break the half-god sword? Moreover, the big black blade in his hand was clearly a broken blade that could be found everywhere on the street. You lost. Hand over the wood element bead. Ji Yufei's clone stretched out his hand towards young Master Ching. Young Master Ching's expression changed. Why? Young Master Ching of the Fox clan, are you going to renege on your debt in front of everyone? Ji Yufei's clone said in disdain. This, young Master Ching was a person of status. He couldn't afford to renege on his debt in front of everyone. Young Master Ching directly threw the wood element bead to Ji Yufei's clone. Thank you. Ji Yufei's clone grabbed the wood element bead. The surrounding humans and demons were all envious. Many of them even started to covet the wood element bead in Ji Yufei's clone's hand. He was just a rogue cultivator. Even if he died in Dongyang City, it wouldn't be anything new. Because many people died in Dongyang City every day. The status of humans in Eastern Wilderness wasn't high. But now, Ji Yufei's clone was here. Young Master Ching snorted coldly. He turned around and walked into Cloud Immortal Residence. We don't welcome you here. The housekeeper of Cloud Immortal Residence glared at Ji Yufei's doppelganger. He had paid a huge price to get his hands on this sword. But now, his half-divine sword was actually cut into two by this guy called Blackblade Li with one slash. His heart was dripping blood. TSK, I didn't want to come. Ji Yufei's clone turned around and left. Fellow Daoist, please wait. At this time, a fat man in a Daoist robe walked over and called out to Ji Yufei's clone. What do you want? He could tell at a glance that this fatty was a human and not one of those demons. This. Fellow Daoist, are you selling this saber in your hand? Fatty stared at the big black saber in the hands of Ji Yufei's doppelganger. What, you want my saber? Ji Yufei's doppelganger said with some surprise. That's right. I see that you haven't refined this saber yet, so it's not your life weapon. Why don't you sell it to me? Fatty laughed. An unrefined saber? A cold light flashed through the eyes of the dog demon, and then he left without a sound. When the others heard Fatty's words, they were also tempted. At this time, everyone realized that the aura of the big black saber in the hands of Ji Yufei's avatar was not the same as his. If he refined the saber, he would be able to refine it into his body. Why would he need to carry it? Fellow Daoist, I'm Lang Shan, the son of General Lang Chi of Dongyang City. I want your saber. At this time, a young man in embroidered clothes walked out from the crowd. A group of people surged up from behind the son of the great general. These people immediately drove the surrounding people to the side. Everyone was angry, but they didn't dare to speak. The general of Dongyang City was an existence second only to the city lord. He also held military power. Who would dare to provoke the son of the general? Were they tired of living? Lang Shan strode toward Ji Yufei's avatar. Ji Yufei's avatar was actually a wolf demon. However, this wolf demon was much stronger than young Master Ching. He was at the mid-stage of the god state. The forces in Dongyang City were complicated, but Ji Yufei's avatar didn't care about that. Haha, all of you want my saber. Alright then, the highest bidder wins. Ji Yufei's avatar laughed. That's how it should be. Lang Shan nodded. The fat man didn't speak, but everyone knew that he wouldn't easily give up on the big black saber in the hands of Black Saber Li. Who wouldn't want a divine weapon? It should be said that a good divine weapon could double a martial artist's combat power. Soon, a few demons stood up. The forces behind them weren't small either. Lang Shan wanted to use his father's name to scare off all the people and demons who wanted the saber. However, the effect didn't seem to be very good. Not everyone could be scared off. Come on, start bidding. Ji Yufei's avatar glanced at the crowd and said, 1,000 high-grade god stones. Lang Shan rushed to bid. In the Void Realm, godstones were used. The quality of godstones could be divided into 3 types: low, medium, high, and top quality. 1,000 high-grade godstones were equivalent to 500 kilograms. Godstones were measured in kilograms. Oh, Lang Shan, you bid 1,000 high-grade godstones right off the bat. Do you have that many? The fat man in the Taoist robe sneered. Damn fatty, who are you? Are you tired of living? Lang Shan stared at the fat man and said fiercely. He was a wolf demon, not a kind person. In his eyes, humans were just lowly creatures. Prick up your wolf ears and listen carefully. I am a descendant of the immortal sect. The fat man said proudly. What? Lang Shan's expression changed. The faces of the surrounding demons changed as well. The immortal sect, like Ling Tian Palace, was a hidden sect in the Void Realm. Moreover, it was even more mysterious than Ling Tian Palace. However, no one dared to look down on the immortal sect. This inheritance was extremely powerful, and the descendant of the immortal sect was even more powerful. Lang Shan took out a note worth 1,000 high-grade godstones. This note belonged to the largest trading house in the Eastern Wilderness, the Fire Emperor Trading House. It could be exchanged for divine stones in any branch of the Fire Emperor Trading House in the entire Eastern Wilderness. I didn't expect a small wolf demon like you to be so rich. The fat man was a little surprised that Lang Shan could really take out 1,000 high-grade godstones. Fatty, if you don't have any divine stones, then scram. Lang Shan sneered. I don't have any divine stones. The fat man said dejectedly. Then scram. One of Lang Shan's subordinates shouted at the fat man arrogantly. This guy had yet to completely transform into a human and was only in the demigod realm. Fatty glared fiercely at this subordinate of Wolf Mountain. In the next moment, this fellow actually fell head first to the ground and died just like that. The subordinate of Lang Shan revealed his true form. It was a white wolf. You dare to kill my subordinate? Lang San was infuriated. He grabbed a spear from one of his subordinates and pointed it at the fatty. The strong can't be humiliated. If you want to fight, then let's fight. The fat man looked at Lang Shan coldly and a powerful murderous aura erupted from his body. Seeing this, Ji Yu Fei's doppelganger could not help but give the fat man a thumbs up. This guy was really tough. He actually dared to go against the son of the city lord in Dongyang City. You win. Lang Shan's expression changed several times. In the end, he did not make a move. Chapter 5299. Under everyone's gazes, the son of Dongyang City's general was terrified. This surprised everyone. It has to be said that Lang Shan was an existence that could do whatever he wanted in Dongyang City. Lang Shan, young Master Qing, and Go Sheng were the 3 great devils of Dongyang City. Anyone who provoked the 3 of them would suffer a miserable fate. However, the damn fatty was a member of the Celestial Sect. For countless years, everyone compared the Celestial Sect to Ling Tian Palace. This was why Lang Shan didn't dare to provoke the fatty. I don't have any godstones, but I have this. The fatty stretched out his right hand and opened his palm. In his hand was a crystal the size of half a fist surrounded by divine light. What? Is this a divine crystal? Although Lang Shan was a spoiled brat, he was still the son of the general. His vision was not ordinary, so he immediately saw what the fatty was holding. A divine crystal much better than a top-quality godstone. This fatty actually used divine crystals to cultivate. This shocked everyone present. This was because divine crystals were very rare in the Void Realm. This was also why Lang Shan and the other great demons were so shocked. The people of the Celestial Sect were indeed amazing to use a divine crystal to cultivate. The spiritual energy inside a divine crystal was the purest form of spiritual energy. In the Void Realm, even the disciples of the big shots of the Eastern Wasteland couldn't afford to use divine crystals to cultivate. Can this divine crystal of mine compare to your 1,000 kilograms of top-quality godstones? The fatty looked at Lang Shan with disdain. Lang Shan was about to go crazy. He had been repeatedly slapped in the face by this fatty, and he felt very aggrieved. Haha, Divine crystal, not bad. Is there any higher bid? Gu Fei's avatar laughed. You want to trade for a divine blade with a divine crystal? Someone sneered. Then the crowd parted and a figure walked out. This person was a slender young man with sword-like eyebrows. Feng Guang. Lang Shan couldn't help but be shocked when he saw this person. The city lord's son, Feng Guang? When the surrounding people heard this, they were all shocked. Some of them even retreated immediately. Feng Guang was a strong and powerful existence, the son of the city lord. His cultivation base had already reached the peak of the divine realm, only half a step away from the half-step divine king realm. How about 2 divine crystals? Feng Guang smiled at Gu Fei's doppelganger. Young Master Guang Shuo is generous. Lang Shan did not dare to offend this fellow. One had to know that his father was the city lord's subordinate. Young Master Shan, your net worth should be more than this, right? Feng Guang glanced at Wolf Mountain. These guys, on the 2nd floor of the Cloud Immortal abode, young Master Qing Yunfei, was eating and drinking on the balcony, watching the show. He wanted to see what kind of ability this heaven-reaching human clan loose cultivator called Li Heidao had to fight with Feng Guang and Lang Shan. These 2 fellows were existences that even he didn't want to provoke. Dongwang, why are you hiding inside? Come out and watch the show. Young Master Qing suddenly said towards the building. Outside Yunxian House, Gu Fei's doppelganger naturally heard young Master Qing's words. He didn't expect that Dongwang actually had a connection with young Master Qing of the Fox clan and appeared in Yunxian House. What's there to see? A voice rang out from within the building. Then, a figure walked out from within and sat down at the table. This person was Dongwang of South China. Undeniably, Dongwang and Lin Xiaotian were very resourceful. They had a connection with the Fox clan in Eastern Wilderness so quickly. The major forces of the Eastern Wilderness Demon Clan didn't like to interact with the human forces of other regions. Being able to get in touch with the Fox Clan showed that Dongwang and Lin Xiaotian were indeed capable. It's better to have a show than to have no show. It's so boring. Young Master Qing smiled. Young Master Qing is so cool. Dongwang poured himself a cup of wine and drank it. His throat was burning. It was so refreshing. The wine brewed by the Demon Clan was very refreshing. It was much more domineering than the wine brewed by the Human Clan. Ordinary people would get drunk after 1 or 2 cups. Even cultivators couldn't drink too much. Since Dongwang had appeared here, Lin Xiaotian must be nearby. It was impossible for Lin Xiaotian to leave Dongwang's side. Gu Fei's doppelganger wasn't here to kill Dongwang and Lin Xiaotian. He was here to pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger. Well, this young master has bid 2 divine crystals. Who else wants to bid a higher price? Gu Fei's doppelganger said to the surrounding people and demons. In the entire Eastern Wilderness, the Demon Clan dominated, and the Human Clan was only a vassal of the Demon Clan. Although there were many humans in the Eastern Wilderness, they were all under the control of the Demon Clan. Of course, there were also experts in the Eastern Wilderness, but so what? There were no Emperor Realm humans in the Eastern Wilderness. However, there was more than one Emperor Realm demon in the Eastern Wilderness. In Dongyang City, who dared to go against Feng Guang? Who dared to refuse what Feng Guang wanted? The surrounding people and demons didn't speak. Even Lang Shan shut up. Since young Master Guang wants it, then forget it. The fat man seemed to have some scruples about Feng Guang. Feng Guang was the son of the city lord of Dongyang City, and the city lord of Dongyang City was one of the 5 emperors of the Eastern Wilderness Demon Clan. 2 divine crystals. Feng Guang took out 2 divine crystals and handed them to Gu Fei's doppelganger. Gu Fei's doppelganger was about to reach out to take them. However, Feng Guang loosened her grip and the 2 divine crystals fell to the ground. The surrounding people didn't speak when they saw this. There were many people on the street, but the surroundings were terrifyingly quiet. The 2 divine crystals fell to the ground and collided with the ground, producing a crisp sound. What do you mean? Gu Fei's doppelganger looked at Feng Guang and said calmly. Nothing. I just want you to lower your head in front of me. Feng Guang said proudly. Who gave you the courage to be presumptuous in front of me? Jiu Fei's doppelganger was still calm. Just because I'm the son of the Phoenix Emperor. Is that enough? Feng Guang stared at Jiu Fei's doppelganger with arrogance and disdain. Hey! Jiu Fei's doppelganger shook his head and pulled out the big black blade on his back. Just throw this kind of trash away. Feng Guang thought that this guy called Black Blade Li was going to give him the big black blade. You don't even know who you're talking to. Jiu Fei's doppelganger shook his head helplessly. What? Feng Guang was stunned. Before he could react, he felt a cold sensation on his neck and his head fell to the ground. Just one blade. Jiu Fei's doppelganger had killed Feng Guang, who was at the peak of the immortal state, with just one blade. All the humans and demons were dumbfounded when they saw this. Even young Master Qing, who was watching the show upstairs, was so shocked that his hand shook. His wine glass fell to the ground and shattered. You're courting death. Chapter 5300. With just one blade, Jiu Fei's avatar had killed Feng Guang. The entire crowd was silent and everyone was dumbfounded. They were all shocked out of their wits. No one expected this rogue cultivator from Zhongtian City to kill Feng Guang with one blade. That was Feng Guang, the son of the city lord of Dongyang City, one of the 5 great ancient cities of the Eastern Wasteland. The city lord of Dongyang City was an emperor, one of the most powerful existences in the Eastern Wasteland. He pierced the sky, he really pierced the sky. Whether it was young Master Qing, who was watching the show from the Cloud Celestial House, Lang Shan, or the disciple of the Celestial Sect, the fatty, their eyes almost fell to the ground. It was impossible for them not to be shocked, because the person this guy named Black Blade Li had killed was the most powerful son of the Dongyang City, Feng Guang. Feng Guang was dead. He was killed by someone with a single slash. This scene was too surreal for all the humans and demons present. Feng Guang is actually dead. You actually killed Feng Guang. Lang Shan, who was facing Jiu Fei's avatar, was so scared that he almost peed his pants. He knew Feng Guang's origin. Feng Guang was the son of an emperor, and the city lord of Dongyang City only had one son. In other words, Jiu Fei's avatar had killed the only son of the city lord of Dongyang City with one blade. Soon, the entire street was in an uproar. Countless people and demons were stunned and didn't know what to do. This super explosive news spread across the entire Dongyang City. Then, the city lord's manor exploded. One after another, extremely powerful silhouettes dashed out of the city towards the direction of the Cloud Immortal residence. Brother, you have guts. If you don't die, I, Fan Jian, will definitely be your friend. The fatty gave Jiu Fei's avatar a thumbs up. You're being cheap. Jiu Fei's clone almost burst out laughing when he heard that. I'm Fan Jian, a disciple of the Celestial Sect. Fatty Fan spoke with his head held high. I know you're being cheap, haha. Jiu Fei's avatar finally couldn't help but laugh out loud. At this moment, Fatty Fan finally realized that something was wrong. His face immediately turned as black as the bottom of a pot. Young Master Guang is dead. Who did it? A furious roar came from the sky. A golden-armored soldier descended from the sky and landed beside Feng Guang's corpse. It's him. All the people and demons on the street pointed at Jiu Fei's clone, who had changed his name to Black Blade Li Half-Step Martial Emperor. Jiu Fei's doppelganger immediately saw through this golden-armored immortal general with a golden spear in his hand and a pair of golden boots on his feet. He was tall and had a mighty appearance. What surprised Jiu Fei's clone was that this golden-armored general wasn't a demon, but a human. A human expert being ordered around by a demon made Jiu Fei's clone very unhappy. You killed young Master Guang? The golden-armored general glared at Jiu Fei's clone. Although his voice wasn't very loud, everyone around him felt their ears ring. The humans and demons with weaker cultivations directly bled from their ears. All the people and demons on the street had to retreat far away. This is the golden-armored general, Luo Yuan? Lang Shan was inexplicably shocked. He also retreated. Luo Yuan was a capable general under the city lord of Dongyang City, Lord Phoenix. Fatty Fan also tactfully retreated far away. The experts watching the show also had to retreat. Then go to hell. The golden-armored General Luo Yuan raised the spear in his hand and a golden light pierced directly between the eyebrows of Ji Yufei's clone. What a decisive killer! East King, who was watching the show from the immortal Cloud House, was shocked. The golden-armored war god didn't even bother talking nonsense with Black Blade Li and directly attacked. Ah! Ji Yufei's clone sighed. The next moment, there was a flash of black light. The golden-armored General Luo Yuan felt his hand lighten. He looked down and saw that the front half of his golden spear had disappeared. Luo Yuan's eyes widened. Before he could react, there was another flash of black light and his head flew off. Seeing this scene, everyone's jaws almost dropped to the ground. Once again, the street was silent. Killing a half-step emperor with 2 strikes, young Master Qing was so scared that his legs were trembling. This Black Blade Li was too terrifying. He simply dared to kill anyone. Young Master Qing had just provoked this guy. That was no different from courting death. Young Master Qing was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. Ah, you guys are really something. Why do you want to kill me? I've already killed those who wanted to kill me. Aren't you guys courting death? Arrogant, too arrogant. At this moment, several figures descended from the sky and directly surrounded Ji Yufei's clone. What? Do you guys also want to court death? Ji Yufei's doppelganger said casually. You killed young Master Guang. You must die. The leader, a black-robed old man, stared at Ji Yufei viciously. This old man was no longer a human. He was a great demon of the half-emperor realm. A little kitten dares to be so insolent in front of me. I admire your courage. Ji Yufei's clone said disapprovingly. Little kitten? The black-clothed old man was enraged. A violent demonic aura erupted from his body and the shadow of a black tiger appeared on his body, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws at Ji Yufei's clone. Kill. 4 demons attacked Ji Yufei's clone directly. All of you are courting death. The big black blade in Ji Yufei's clone's hand swept horizontally. Then, the 4 demons were directly cut into 2 at the waist. As long as they were hit by the big black blade in Ji Yufei's clone's hand, no matter if they were human or demon, no one was spared. There was no need for a second strike. Everyone and all the demons were frightened by this scene. Damn, this human was too fierce. These guys were all powerhouses of the City Lord's mansion. He killed them just like that. No one had ever dared to kill in Dongyang City. The powerhouses watching in the dark were also dumbfounded. This human was crazy. Did he want to start a war with the City Lord, Lord Phoenix? Lord Phoenix is not in Dongyang City now. In a simple guest room in the Cloud Immortal residence, a figure sitting cross-legged on a bed suddenly opened his eyes. This person was Lin Xiaotian. Wherever East King appeared, Lin Xiaotian would also appear. Lin Xiaotian couldn't sense the aura of an emperor in Dongyang City. In other words, there were no other emperors in Dongyang City. This guy killed half-step emperors like killing chickens. Was he actually an emperor? An emperor actually came to Dongyang City to pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger? The entire Dongyang City was shrouded by Lin Xiaotian's divine sense, but he couldn't feel any emperor aura from this person named Li Heidao. Chapter 5301. Ji Yufei's avatar went on a killing spree. This shocked the countless people and demons on the street. The street was completely silent. Everyone looked at this guy called Black Blade Li as if they were looking at a monster. Dongyang City was one of the 5 great ancient cities of the Eastern Wasteland. The 5 great ancient cities had existed for countless years. No matter how chaotic the Eastern Wasteland was, the 5 cities still existed. Dongyang City was the territory of the Eastern Wasteland's Phoenix clan. The Phoenix Lord was the emperor of the Phoenix clan, but he was not in Dongyang City at this moment. As a result, who could stop Ji Yufei's avatar? Although Lin Xiaotian was hiding in the Cloud Celestial House, he wouldn't help the Phoenix clan because he had enough trouble on his own. If he provoked this unknown guy, wouldn't he be asking for trouble? Who else wants to die? Ji Yufei's avatar held the big black blade and spoke calmly. Around him were the corpses of a black tiger, a giant crocodile, a demonic ape, a white lion, and even a demonic vine. These were all experts from Dongyang City's City Lord's mansion, but now, without exception, they were all cut in half at the waist and revealed their true forms. In particular, the Black Tiger King was a powerhouse among powerhouses. He was only half a step away from becoming a true emperor, but unfortunately, he was now dead. The surroundings were still silent. No one dared to speak because the scene before them was too shocking. No one expected this person from Zhongtian to be so fierce. He didn't care who the other party was and killed without hesitation. I just arrived in the Eastern Wasteland and I can already eat this kind of game. Not bad. What Jiyu Fei's doppelganger did next left all the humans and demons dumbfounded. This guy actually collected the corpses of the phoenix, the black tiger, the giant crocodile, and the white lion. What is he doing? Everyone from the human clan and the demon clan could guess what Li Heidao was going to do when they saw this scene. This guy was treating the corpses of the demon kings as game. Let's go. After saying that, Jiyu Fei's doppelganger glanced at the cloud immortal abode before heading in the direction of the city gate. Wherever he passed, both the human clan and the demon clan made way for him. At this moment, no one dared to provoke him. Under the watchful eyes of all humans and demons, Jiyu Fei's doppelganger swaggered out of the city gate. That guy is coming out. There were shadows flashing in the forest outside the city. Jiyu Fei's clone pretended not to see anything and continued walking along the main road. Soon, he turned from the main road to the mountain road. Ha ha ha, the heavens really want you dead. Suddenly, a loud laughter rang out as a figure descended from the sky and landed in front of Jiyu Fei's doppelganger. There were no other people on the mountain path, nor were there any other demons. However, a sudden gust of demonic wind blew, and a dozen or so demonic auras immediately appeared on the mountain path. Dog demon. It was the dog demon that had suddenly left the Cloud Immortal house in Dongyang City. What did you say? I want to talk about Lord Dog. The dog demon roared angrily. Lord Dog. It's still a dog. What's the difference? Jiyu Fei's clone laughed. Lord, the human clan is cunning. Let's kill them quickly before they cause any trouble. A toad demon that had a toad head but could already transform into a human body came over and said, Okay, kill. The dog demon waved his hand and the dozen or so demons behind him charged at Jiyu Fei's clone. They were all fierce and ferocious. Jiyu Fei's doppelganger pulled out the big black saber from his back and swung it horizontally. Whoosh! The mountain path was suddenly filled with sand and stones. The dozen or so demons that wanted to attack Jiyu Fei's clone were sent flying and smashed into the walls on both sides of the mountain path. They all coughed out blood and were in a sorry state. Jiyu Fei's clone had only swung his blade once at the edge of the water. After that, the dozen or so demons were all sent flying and fell to the ground. They screamed and could no longer stand up. A strong wind blew against the dog demon's face. His legs were trembling and his pants were wet. He was so scared that he peed his pants. Who gave you the confidence to block me? Jiyu Fei's clone carried the big black blade and walked toward the dog demon step by step. You, the dog demon was so scared that he fell to the ground. Go back and tell your city lord that I'll wait for him for 3 days. Jiyu Fei's clone threw the big black blade in his hand. A ray of black light shot into the sky and pierced the gate of the city lord's mansion. The guards of the city lord's mansion were all shocked. At this moment, Dongyang City was already in an uproar. Countless people and demons were spreading the news that a big shot had come to challenge the city lord of Dongyang City. Also, this guy was a ruthless person. He had directly killed Feng Guang and the experts of the city lord's mansion. This was a big grudge. It has to be said that Feng Guang was the only son of Dongyang City's city lord, the Phoenix Lord. Now that the city lord, the Phoenix Lord, was back, he would definitely fight to the death with Li Heidao. At this moment, on a remote mountain road outside the city, the dog demon had already revealed his true form. This guy was even bigger than Black Tiger and was extremely fierce. If an ordinary person encountered such a fierce dog, they would definitely be scared out of their wits. However, this big dog peed his pants and rushed toward Dongyang City. This big dog was the God Realm powerhouse of the dog clan, Go Sheng. Go Sheng had left the city early, so he didn't know what had happened after he left. If he knew that Jiu Fei's clone had killed Feng Guang, he wouldn't have dared to bring people to block this fiend outside the city. At this moment, Jiu Fei's clone flew into the sky and landed on the top of a mountain outside Dongyang City. He sat down on a large rock under a tree. Go Sheng revealed his true form and rushed into the city. The demon soldiers guarding the city were so scared that they almost peed their pants. A big dog rushed into the city like a madman. The people in the city were thrown off their feet and many demons were knocked away. The city was in chaos. Go Sheng, you bastard. Some of the demons who recognized this large dog cursed loudly. This big dog directly rushed toward the city lord's mansion and crashed into it. The next moment, the city lord's mansion was in an uproar. When the city lord's mansion calmed down, Go Sheng only had half his life left. That guy actually wanted to wait for our emperor for 3 days. Does he really think he is invincible? An old man in the main hall of the city lord's mansion gritted his teeth. Then what are we waiting for? Such a big thing has happened. Quickly send a message to the master. Chapter 5302. The Void Realm, the Eastern Wilderness. Under the rule of the Demon Clan, nothing big had happened in the past hundreds of years. Aside from the Phoenix Lord of Dongyang City sending troops to southern Man, the entire Eastern Wilderness had been very peaceful. The 5 ancient demon cities maintained their own balance. But now, a human from the middle sky seemed to want to break the balance in the Eastern Wilderness. What happened in Dongyang City soon spread across the entire Eastern Wilderness. Everyone was inexplicably shocked. A cultivator from the Middle Sky clan had invaded the Eastern Wilderness. What did this mean? A strong dragon couldn't suppress a snake in its own territory. That guy had dared to stab the city lord's mansion and leave a message to wait for the Phoenix Lord for 3 days. This cultivator from the Middle Sky clan was too arrogant. The Phoenix Supreme was one of the 5 strongest Emperor Realm cultivators in the Eastern Barren Territory. That guy from Sky Center actually dared to challenge the Phoenix Supreme, the City Lord of Eastern Sun City. This directly attracted the attention of all the big shots in the Eastern Barren Territory. That guy is actually an emperor, and he killed Feng Guang. The dog demon was scared out of his wits when he heard what had happened in the city. He'd actually brought people to stop an emperor outside the city. An emperor could kill him as easily as turning over his hand. He was already very lucky to have survived. Dog Leftover was really scared. He hid in the ancestral land of the Dog Demon clan and didn't dare to come out again. Young Master Qing and Lang Shan had also completely restrained themselves. Dongyang City had become one of the 4 spoiled brats. After Feng Guang had been killed by Jiu Fei's clone, the 4 had become a thing of the past. However, time was disappearing. All the strong cultivators in the Eastern Wilderness were staring at Dongyang City. They all wanted to know if the Phoenix dared to accept the challenge. There hadn't been a battle between emperors in the Eastern Wilderness for a long time. The emperor from Culmination Sky was not an ordinary person. One had to know that only the most ferocious dragon would not cross the river. Since that guy called Li Heidao dared to challenge Lord Phoenix, then he had the confidence to do so. No one thought that the guy called Li Heidao would be stupid enough to court death. Many strong cultivators in the Eastern Wilderness rushed to Dongyang City as soon as they heard the news. No one wanted to miss such a big show. Even the experts from the other 4 ancient cities of the Demon Clan had begun to move. Hehe, interesting. Someone actually dares to challenge the old Phoenix. Inside the South Chilean city's City Lord Manor, an aged laughter sounded out, and the entire main hall shook. Ancestor, are you going out to play as well? A girl in red smiled and said to an old man sitting on the City Lord's throne. This messy old man was very strong. The aura on his body was as vast as the sea. A sinister fire Chilean image appeared on his body. The temperature of the entire palace quickly rose. It's been a long time since I went out for a walk. It's time to meet some old friends. The disheveled old man said in a deep voice. Then bring me along, haha. The red-robed woman laughed heartily. At the same time, the rulers of the other ancient cities were all heading toward Dongyang City or had already left for Dongyang City. It only took 1 day for countless cultivators to enter Dongyang City. All the inns in the city were overcrowded and the streets were filled with cultivators. Lin Xiaotian, I know you are in the city. Get out of here. On the next day, a roar shook the entire city. Early in the morning, countless humans and demons who were still sleeping were awakened. A terrifying aura enveloped the entire Dongyang city. However, the city defense formation was soon activated. A layer of demonic light directly enveloped the entire city. The entire ancient city was like a sleeping beast that was suddenly awakened. Haha, you dare to play with formations in front of me? The laughter of the newcomer shook the void and echoed between heaven and earth. Outside Dongyang city, Ji Yufei's avatar, who was sitting on a boulder on the top of the mountain, opened his eyes. Why did this guy arrive so late? Ji Yufei's avatar naturally knew who had arrived. It was Huang Fuzun. However, he was a bit confused because Huang Fuzun had arrived at Dongyang city a long time ago. Why did he arrive so late? Huang Fuzun, if you have the ability, then fight your way in. An old voice came from the Yunxian house in Dongyang city. You bastard. Huang Fuzun's figure appeared in the sky outside Dongyang city. He looked down at the city below and gritted his teeth. This Lin Xiaotian was truly abominable. This guy had fled to the North Ruins with the East King and caused me to fight the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins. Now, he wanted to make enemies again. This time, it was the Eastern Wasteland demon race. The Eastern Wasteland demon race was different from the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins. The Eastern Wasteland demon race was much stronger than the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins. It should be known that among the 5 regions of the Void Realm, Middle Heaven was the strongest, followed by the Eastern Wasteland. If you don't have the ability, then get out of here. Lin Xiaotian's voice rang again. At this time, all the humans and demons in Dongyang city were dumbfounded. Countless people and demons had no idea what was going on. Even the big shots in the city lord's mansion were confused. However, the big shots in Dongyang city had heard of Huang Fuzun's name. This guy was the #1 emperor in the Void Realm's formation Dao. In the entire Void Realm, Huang Fuzun was the only one who had become an emperor through formation Dao since ancient times. In fact, Lin Xiaotian's way of making enemies was too unskillful. He was blatantly making enemies. In this way, he had offended the Eastern Wasteland demon race as well. However, Lin Xiaotian couldn't care less. If Huang Fuzun dared to attack Dongyang city, he would be declaring war against the Phoenix race, one of the Eastern Wasteland demon race. By then, the Phoenix race would be in a difficult position. Naturally, they would have to fight back and make enemies. What? You don't want to say anything? Are you scared? Lin Xiaotian provoked Huang Fuzun again when he didn't make a move. In the sky, Huang Fuzun was really hesitating. Dongyang city was different from other places. It was one of the 5 ancient cities of the Eastern Wasteland demon race. The origins of the 5 ancient cities could no longer be investigated. However, Huang Fuzun knew very well that once he attacked the city, he would be declaring war against the Phoenix race. It didn't matter to him. If he couldn't win, he could run. However, if he did that, he would make a big enemy for his master. The #1 expert in formation Dao in the Void Realm is scared. Haha. Lin Xiaotian continued to provoke. Huang Fuzun was furious, but he knew very well that this was Lin Xiaotian's provocation. Once he made a move, there was no turning back. If you want to do it, then do it. Just then, a voice suddenly appeared in Huang Fuzun's mind. Huang Fuzun's eyes suddenly lit up. Don't be arrogant in front of me. I'm going to kill you in the city. Chapter 5303. The reason why Huang Fuzun didn't dare to make a move was that he didn't want his master to hate him and provoke the Eastern Wasteland demon race. The Eastern Wasteland demon race was different from the Ghost Emperor of the North. The Eastern Wasteland demon race also had more Emperor Realm experts than the North. On the surface, there were already 5 Emperor Realm experts in the ancient cities. No one knew how many more Emperor Realm experts were lurking in the Eastern Wasteland. Even Huang Fuzun would have to run away if he provoked so many Emperor Realm expert. At this time, Huang Fuzun didn't hesitate anymore. Boom! A loud noise shook the earth and mountains. Countless formation patterns appeared in the sky above Eastern Sun City. Demonic energy soared into the sky. It was extremely terrifying. Countless humans and demons in Eastern Sun City trembled in fear. Under the powerful pressure of the Emperor Realm, even Divine Realm and Divine King Realm experts were terrified. Haha, Huangfu Zun, you've got guts. Lin Xiaotian was overjoyed inside the immortal cloud house. Ancestor, is this Huangfu Zun really a fool? King Dong said. Huangfu Zun obviously knew that Huangfu Zun was trying to provoke him, but he still did it. This guy can't take the provocation, Lin Xiaotian said with a serious expression. He was also a little surprised. Did this Huangfu Zun really think that he could do whatever he wanted just because he had Ji Yufei's support? Ji Yufei was very strong, but if he became the public enemy of the world, he wouldn't be able to defeat all the experts in the world no matter how strong he was. Lin Xiaotian's plan was being carried out step by step, and everything was developing in the direction he expected. However, he still felt a little uneasy. This was the feeling that a peak Emperor Realm expert had towards the impending danger. However, he couldn't tell where the danger was coming from. At this time, the entire Eastern Sun City was already in a mess. Lang Shan's general had also climbed up the East Gate Tower with his bodyguards. Lang Tianhao was definitely the #1 expert in Eastern Sun City. He had just returned from outside the city half a day ago, and he was an early Emperor Realm expert. Lang Shan, this fellow, had the support of his old man and jumped out again. He kept a low profile before because he knew that his old man wasn't in the city. Now that his old man was back, who was he afraid of? Who was he afraid of? In Lang Shan's eyes, an emperor was an invincible existence. However, what he didn't know was that Emperor Realm was also divided into different levels. Even peak Emperor Realm cultivators didn't dare claim to be invincible. The old monster Huangfu Zun is still alive. Lang Tianhao looked up at the figure in the sky and tightened his grip on his halberd. Huangfu Zun was an array emperor and was definitely not easy to deal with. General, what should we do? The city lord hasn't returned yet. This fellow is so ferocious, we can't stop him. A tall and sturdy general with a full beard beside Lang Tianhao said with a serious expression. What are you afraid of? As long as we don't go out of the city, Huangfu Zun can't do anything. He can't really break into the city, can he? Lang Tianhao was very confident. Dongyang City was one of the 5 ancient cities of the Eastern Wasteland, and its protective formation was extremely powerful. Since ancient times, who could shake the protective formation of one of the 5 ancient cities? All the generals behind Lang Tianhao didn't speak. In fact, no one could break through Dongyang City's city protection formation. Not even the Array Dao ancestor of Ling Tian Palace, Hong Tian. Of course, Hong Tian ancestor was no longer a member of Ling Tian Palace. There were still many remnants of King Dong. The myriad transformation ancestor, Mu Gaofeng, and Mr. Qiu Shuai were all hiding. Of course, these guys would never dare to go against Ji Yufei, unless they felt that they were tired of living and wanted to die. That would be a different story. Boom. With another loud bang, countless formation runes appeared in the sky above Dongyang City. The power of the protective formation blocked Huangfu Zun's attack. Shocking collisions kept ringing as Huangfu Zun tried to make a move. As a result, countless creatures in the city were scared out of their wits. It has to be said that for countless years, there were very few people who dared to attack Dongyang City. Today, someone actually came directly to their door. How could the creatures in the city not be shocked? Huangfu Zun is too cautious. Outside the city, Ji Yufei's avatar sitting on the top of the mountain shook his head when he saw Huangfu Zun constantly changing positions in the sky and attacking the protective formation of Dongyang City from time to time. With Huangfu Zun's strength, it was impossible to break the protective formation of Dongyang City by force. Unless Huangfu Zun used the formation to slowly wear it down, it might be possible to break the protective formation of Dongyang City. However, Huangfu Zun was about to make his move. Ji Yufei's avatar was still watching the show. He originally wanted to play around, but in the end, he still couldn't help but kill Feng Guang. He couldn't help it. Since he couldn't play around, he would just watch the show. Let's see how many big shots Huang Fuzun could attract. Hand over Lin Xiaotian and I'll leave. Huang Fuzun's voice spread throughout Dongyang City. Who is Lin Xiaotian? So he's here to find Lin Xiaotian. It has nothing to do with us. Then hand him over. Dongyang City was suddenly in an uproar. Even Lang Tianhao, who was guarding the East Gate Tower, was shocked. Lin Xiaotian, Lang Tianhao was shocked and angry. Another old antique. Lang Tianhao was also in the Emperor realm. Although Lin Xiaotian had hidden his name for a long time, he had still heard of his name. Lin Xiaotian was a ruthless man. In the distant past, this guy killed his way to Ling Tian Palace alone and shocked the world. At that time, Lang Tianhao was still a small figure in the Wolf clan. General, the generals behind Lang Tianhao couldn't sit still anymore. Handing over Lin Xiaotian would save Dongyang City from a disaster. I know what you're thinking. Lang Tianhao said in a deep voice. General, what are we waiting for? The bearded general said anxiously. We can't go. Lang Tianhao sighed. He naturally knew where Lin Xiaotian was, Yunxian House. But Lin Xiaotian was a ruthless man, and he was no match for him at all. Why? The generals behind Lang Tianhao exclaimed in shock. Because that person is Lin Xiaotian. Lang Tianhao had to admit that he was not as good as Lin Xiaotian. The generals behind Lang Tianhao were speechless. They were not stupid. Naturally, they knew Lang Tianhao's temper. It was estimated that even Lang Tianhao didn't dare to provoke that person. If Lang Tianhao went to find him, he would probably be abused. Very well, if you don't hand over Lin Xiaotian, don't blame me for being ruthless. Chapter 5304. In the eastern wilderness, above Dongyang City, Huang Fuzun was about to use his trump card. A ray of golden light rushed out from Huang Fuzun's body. Inside the golden light, a lotus throne rapidly grew larger, and a powerful fluctuation of origin energy erupted from the golden lotus throne. This was the lotus throne Huang Fuzun had obtained from the treasure cave on Myriad Buddha Mountain. This lotus throne was also a formation disk. Huang Fuzun didn't hesitate and directly flew into the sky. He landed on the lotus throne and sat down cross-legged on it. Boom! He immediately activated his mystic art. In the next moment, an endless amount of golden light erupted from the lotus seat of the Buddha. Within the golden light, countless runes could be vaguely seen. These golden runes were directly imprinted in the void. The countless runes were like a super big net. With the lotus throne as the center, they spread in all directions and gradually shrouded the entire Dongyang City. This guy, on the tower of the East Gate, Lang Tianhao was shocked to the extreme when he saw the scene in the sky. This Huang Fuzun was amazing. He wanted to cover the entire Dongyang City with a formation. This is crazy. Everyone in the city raised their heads and looked up into the sky. They saw a golden light screen appear in the sky, and this golden light screen was still expanding. This madman, in the Cloud Immortal House, Lin Xiaotian sensed the movement above Dongyang City. He couldn't help but be shocked. Did this Huang Fuzun want to refine the entire Dongyang City with a formation? Old ancestor, isn't this good? When Fengzun comes back, he will definitely fight with Ji Yufei. Also, Fengzun will definitely hate Ji Yufei. East King's eyes were extremely sharp. He was the East King of the South and the head of the 19 vassal kings of the South. He controlled the boundless eastern territory of the South. If it wasn't for Ji Yufei, he would have been the most likely to replace the wilderness and become the overlord of the South. But now, forget about the overlord of the South, even he, the head of the 19 vassal kings of the South, had become a stray dog. King Dong naturally wanted to tear Ji Yufei into pieces, but he did not have this strength. Even his ancestor, Lin Xiaotian, did not have this strength. What they could do now was to try their best to make enemies for Huang Fuzun and Ji Yufei, making them the public enemy of the world. However, it was impossible to make Ji Yufei the public enemy of the world. This was because the West Sea was on Ji Yufei's side. The Sky Clan of Center Heaven had their primogenitor become Ji Yufei's disciple. As for the Buddhist ancestor, he had been conned by Ji Yufei to the point where even the Myriad Buddha Mountain had fallen into Ji Yufei's hands. As for the North Ruins, although the North Ruins Ghost Emperor and Huang Fuzan had fought, there wasn't any great enmity between them. Who cares about those people from the Eastern Wasteland? Let's fight them first. Ji Yufei was this capricious. Although his main body was still refining the Devil Dao source in the culmination Myriad Buddha Mountain, his avatar could roam the world. Outrageous. Do you really think my Dongyang city is a pushover? Lang Tianhao clenched his right hand and punched at Huang Fuzan in the sky. The fist energy of an Emperor Realm expert turned into a giant white wolf that pounced at Huang Fuzan with bared fangs. Boom! After a loud explosion, the white wolf exploded when it was still hundreds of meters away from Huang Fuzan. A terrifying energy storm erupted in the sky. However, Lang Tianhao's punch couldn't shake Huang Fuzan at all. The gap between the two was too big. Lang Tianhao was only an early-stage Emperor Realm expert, but Huang Fuzan was a peak Emperor Realm expert. A peak Emperor Realm expert killing an early-stage Emperor Realm expert was as easy as crushing an ant. General, Lang Tianhao's subordinates changed their expressions. Why isn't the old Array Master reacting at all? Lang Tianhao suddenly asked. Array Master? His subordinates were shocked. Apart from the City Lord Phoenix Sun, there was another powerful person in Dongyang City, and that was the Array Master. The Array Master was someone who could control the defensive formation of Dongyang City. However, ever since the Array Master activated the defensive formation of Dongyang City, there had been no movement. It should be noted that the defensive formation of Dongyang City had many ways to attack. Rumble, the entire sky of Dongyang City shook. The power of Huang Fuzan's formation finally collided with the defensive formation of Dongyang City. The entire sky was filled with formation runes, and it looked like the sky was about to collapse. All the spiritual energy in the world was attracted, and the sky above Dongyang City was filled with dazzling lights. However, none of the creatures in the city were in the mood to appreciate the spectacle in the sky. They were all terrified. At this moment, an old man was sitting cross-legged in a secret chamber in the City Lord's mansion of Dongyang City. There was a formation disc floating in front of him. On the disc was a miniature Dongyang City. At this moment, Dongyang City was surrounded by dense formation runes. This old man was the Array Master of Dongyang City. That old ghost, Huang Fuzan, is still alive. Array Master Dongyang suddenly opened his eyes. His gaze was extremely sharp. I'll let you have some more fun. Array Master Dongyang sneered and closed his eyes again. Huang Fuzan was indeed worthy of being the Array Emperor. He immediately saw that the eye of the defensive formation was the City Lord's mansion. The City Lord's mansion was the center of the entire defensive formation. It was very simple to break the defensive formation of Dongyang City. All he had to do was destroy the City Lord's mansion. However, the premise was that Huang Fuzan could enter Dongyang City. However, Huang Fuzan couldn't enter Dongyang City right now. Since he couldn't enter the city and destroy the City Lord's mansion, he could only break the formation from the outside. This was why Huang Fuzan was going to use his ultimate move. With the formation platform in hand, Huang Fuzan's formation Dao power was finally released completely. Countless runes rushed out from the lotus seat of his Buddha throne and were imprinted in the void, forming a formation in the void. Very soon, a super formation appeared between heaven and earth. This formation really shrouded the entire Dongyang City. This guy is indeed worthy of being an Array Emperor. In the secret chamber of the City Lord's mansion, the old Array Master opened his eyes again. Huang Fuzan was the first person in the Void Realm to become an Array Emperor. All the spiritual energy in the world was gathering toward Huang Fuzan's killing formation like crazy. There were 9 vague dragon silhouettes in the sky. Each dragon silhouette gave off a powerful aura that made one's heart palpitate. It was as if a true dragon had descended from the 9 heavens. 9 dragons destroy the sky. The Array Master in the City Lord's mansion was surprised. Boom! The 9 dragon shadows began to attack the defensive formation of Dongyang City. The show is about to begin. Chapter 5305. Huang Fuzan's formation Dao was related to the veins of the earth. Therefore, he cultivated the earth formation. He could draw the energy of the Earth's dragon veins for his own use and change the rivers and mountains of the Earth. However, Huang Fuzun's Earth formation was nothing in Ji Yufei's eyes. Moreover, in Ji Yufei's opinion, Huang Fuzun's Earth formation Dao had been cultivated to the extreme. He could use the power of the Earth veins at will and summon the power of an Earth dragon at will. In the eyes of any formation master, this was the supreme divine art of the formation Dao. It was the ultimate truth of the formation Dao that countless formation masters in the Void Realm yearned for. Huang Fuzun had made countless formation masters in the Void Realm see the hope of becoming a monarch with the formation Dao. It turned out that the formation Dao could also become a monarch. Once upon a time, Huang Fuzun was the idol of countless formation masters in the Void Realm. However, he suddenly disappeared when he was at the peak of his life. But now, no one knew where this guy came from, and he even became the subordinate of the peerless Ji Yufei. When the news that a formation emperor had become Ji Yufei's subordinate spread out, countless old geezers were shocked beyond belief. They all thought that Huang Fuzun had gone mad. Now, Huang Fuzun had come to Eastern Sun City. Not only was the entire Eastern Barren territory shaken, even the attention of the other superforces in the Void Realm was focused on the Eastern Barren territory. If it was just one Huang Fuzun, it wouldn't be a big deal. However, Huang Fuzun had Ji Yufei backing him up. Many people were guessing if Ji Yufei was going to attack the Eastern Barren demon race. If that was the case, then there would be a good show to watch. After all, Ji Yufei had just pacified the Southern Barren territory not long ago. Who knew how many lives would be lost when the war started? Moreover, if it wasn't for Ji Yufei's tacit consent, Huang Fuzun wouldn't have dared to be so arrogant and come to the Eastern Barren territory to cause trouble right after fighting the Ghost Emperor of the North Ruins. Actually, Huang Fuzun wasn't afraid of any demon emperor because he had Ji Yufei's support. No one knew Ji Yufei's strength and terror better than he did. Even the Heaven Clan and Buddha Clan of Middle Sky had no choice but to lower their heads to Li Kuang, let alone the Eastern Wasteland Demon Clan. Huang Fuzun used a formation to cover the entire Dongyang city, completely sealing the ancient city. When the news spread, the people in the Phoenix Clan's territory began to panic. This was especially true for the countless creatures in Dongyang city. This was because the ancient city was not self-sufficient. If the city ran out of food, it would be troublesome. Of course, there was still a lot of food stored in the ancient city. It wouldn't be a problem for them to last a month or two. Moreover, the living creatures in the city didn't need to last that long, because their City Lord was about to return. All the living beings in the city were anxiously waiting. Formation Master Dongyang, Lang Tianhao, and the people of the Phoenix Clan were all watching from the sidelines. They weren't in a hurry to act, especially Formation Master Dongyang, who was sitting cross-legged in a secret location. However, not everyone had such mental fortitude. Feng Guang had been killed, so the people of the Phoenix Clan were naturally furious. A tall old man walked out from the ancestral land of the Phoenix Clan. He stood on top of a mountain and looked toward Dongyang City. Boom! In the next moment, a fire phoenix even larger than the mountain appeared on top of the mountain. Monstrous divine flames enveloped the entire sky. The powerful creatures in the surrounding mountain ridges were immediately alarmed, and countless creatures were incomparably terrified. "It's the Phoenix Clan's ancestor," a great demon exclaimed. The Phoenix Clan's ancestor was the strongest existence in the Phoenix Clan. Even the Phoenix Sovereign had to call him granduncle. This ancestor hasn't come out for a long time, right? The area around the Phoenix Clan's ancestral land was originally deserted, but the appearance of the Phoenix Clan's ancestor caused the area to become lively. There was no way it wouldn't be lively. Not everyone could withstand the might of the Phoenix Clan's ancestor. The aura of an Emperor Realm expert spread out in all directions. All the living beings near the ancestral land felt as if a huge mountain was suddenly pressing down on the town. Those with weaker cultivations couldn't even straighten their backs. Fortunately, the Emperor Realm aura didn't last long because the fire phoenix on top of the mountain soared into the sky and disappeared into the horizon in the blink of an eye. Time flew by. The first day of Huang Fuzun's sealing of Dongyang City had passed. The area around Dongyang City was peaceful. Nothing had happened. However, early the next morning, a divine sun suddenly appeared in the sky above Dongyang City. It was like a scorching sun hanging above the city. Is the city lord back? No, it seems that the ancestor is here. In the city lord's mansion, a group of Phoenix clan members excitedly rushed out of the house. The divine sun in the sky was extremely dazzling, and the temperature of the entire world kept rising. It was definitely an emperor realm existence. Fengyang, old ghost, I didn't expect you to still be alive. A figure appeared opposite the divine sun in the sky. It was Huangfu Zun. Old ghost, you're not dead yet, are you? An extremely old voice came from the divine sun. What? Do you want to practice? Huangfu Zun sneered. Huangfu Zun, what do you mean? Fengyang said angrily. What do I mean? Hand over Lin Xiaotian and I'll leave. Huangfu Zun stared at the divine sun with a serious expression. Fengyang wasn't an ordinary Emperor Realm expert. He was also an Emperor Realm expert of the same generation as Huangfu Zun and had lived for countless years. He was also the ancestor of the Phoenix clan in the Eastern Barren Territory, and his cultivation was extremely powerful. There were many elders in the Void Realm, such as the Dragon clan of the West Sea and the Phoenix clan of the Eastern Barren Territory. It was because of these elders that these superclans could continue to exist. Lin Xiaotian? Why is that old guy in the Eastern Barren Territory? Fengyang was surprised to hear this. Haha. Brother Fengyang, how have you been? Just at this moment, a loud laugh came from Dongyang City. Fengyang was really surprised. Hadn't this guy disappeared for a long time? Why did he jump out again? And he was still in Dongyang City. Huangfu, old ghost, let me ask you one thing. Did you kill Feng Guang of my clan? Fengyang stared at Huangfu Zun with eyes as sharp as lightning. What did you say? What Feng Guang? With my status, why would I attack a junior I don't know? Huangfu Zun was unhappy. He was an Emperor Realm expert, the Emperor of Array. How could he do something that was beneath his status? Fine. Since that's the case, Huangfu, old ghost, and Lin Xiaotian, your personal grudges have nothing to do with my Phoenix clan. Find a place to settle them. Don't make trouble in Dongyang City. Fengyang said coldly. Old ghost Fengyang, you've lived for countless years. Can't you see it? Doesn't Lin Xiaotian want to drag your Phoenix clan down with him? Huangfu Zun sneered. What did you say? Chapter 5306. The old ancestor of the Phoenix clan hadn't come out for thousands of years. Many experts of the same generation as him even thought that he had died. But now, the old ancestor of the Phoenix clan came out again, which directly shocked the entire Eastern Wilderness. However, the old ancestor of the Phoenix clan didn't know the current situation in the Eastern Wilderness and even the entire Void Realm. He came out because of the death of Feng Guang. Huangfu Zun suddenly came to the Eastern Wilderness and even set up a super-killing formation to seal the entire Dongyang City. It seemed that things were very serious. Otherwise, why would Huangfu Zun make such a big scene? Lin Xiaotian, come out. Fengyang roared at Dongyang City below. Brother Fengyang, why are you looking for me? A figure appeared over Dongyang City. Of course, with the existence of the killing formation and the Dongyang City defense formation, even Lin Xiaotian couldn't break out. Do you want to drag our Phoenix clan down with you? The old ancestor of the Phoenix clan stared at Lin Xiaotian and sneered. Hey, brother, it's obviously Huangfu Zun who wants to help his master open up a new territory. Why do you say that I want to drag you down with me? Lin Xiaotian said with some grievance. Huangfu Zun's master? Open up a new territory? Hearing this, Fengyang suddenly turned around and stared at Huangfu Zun. I said, hand over Lin Xiaotian, and I'll leave. Huangfu Zun said angrily. Brother Fengyang, do you really believe him? Lin Xiaotian said coldly. Maybe this guy wants to use your hand to get rid of me, and then he will attack the Phoenix clan. Lin Xiaotian continued. Lin Xiaotian, no matter how glib your tongue is, you can't escape death. Huangfu Zun stared at Lin Xiaotian below. This guy was too hateful. What was called a cunning old man? This was a cunning old man, but the old ancestor of the Phoenix clan, Fengyang, didn't know who to believe. I still say the same thing, hand over Lin Xiaotian. Huang Fuzun said in a deep voice. Do I have to hand him over just because you said so? The old ancestor of the Phoenix clan said angrily. He was the master here, and Huang Fuzun didn't give him any face. With Ji Yufei's support, you are unscrupulous and arrogant. Lin Xiaotian said, adding oil to the fire. Ji Yufei? Who is Ji Yufei? The old ancestor of the Phoenix clan didn't care about the outside world at all. If it wasn't for Feng Guang's death which made him furious, he wouldn't have left the mountain. He didn't even know who Ji Yufei was. My master is invincible. Huang Fuzun said proudly. What? What did you say? Invincible? Ha ha. What a joke. The patriarch of the Phoenix clan, Fengyang, laughed disdainfully. Who dared to say that they were invincible in the Void Realm? Even someone as powerful as Ling Tian Palace Master wouldn't dare to proclaim himself to be invincible. That's right. Who dares to say that they are invincible? Lin Xiaotian echoed, but his face was a little unnatural, because the big man behind Huang Fuzun was really strong. Even the Tian clan and the Buddha clan were badly battered by him. Lin Xiaotian knows that he is no match for Ji Yufei. Since we can't see eye to eye, let's do it. Huang Fuzun sat cross-legged on the lotus throne, and a chilly killing intent burst out from his body. Do you think I'm afraid of you? The old ancestor of the Phoenix clan, Fengyang, was not a pushover. A powerful aura spread out from his body, and the two auras confronted each other. Lin Xiaotian, who was standing aside, was overjoyed to see this. Once Huang Fuzun and Fengyang fought to the death, it meant that his plan had succeeded. Huang Fuzun didn't waste any more words. In the cultivation world, strength was the most important thing. He waved his right hand in the void, and a dragon shadow rushed out of the killing formation. Earth Chi Dragon. No wonder he's the emperor of Array. Fengyang didn't dare to be careless. Huang Fuzun was the only emperor of Array in the Void Realm. He became an emperor by using the Array Dao, and no one in the Void Realm could match him in terms of Array Dao. Go. Huang Fuzun waved his right hand, and the huge dragon shadow pounced at Fengyang, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Humph. The old ancestor of the Phoenix clan, Fengyang, sneered. With a jerk of his body, a shadow of a fire phoenix immediately rushed out from his body and charged at the dragon shadow. Boom. A dragon and a phoenix collided with each other in an instant, producing a loud bang. Spatial ripples spread out in the void. The shadow of the dragon and the shadow of the phoenix dissipated into the void in an instant. Kill. Fengyang roared and threw a punch at Huang Fuzun. The violent fist force turned into a monstrous divine fire that instantly shrouded Huang Fuzun. Buzz. The void shook, and the golden dragon shadow appeared, blocking all of Fengyang's fist force. Good heavens, Fengyang was shocked. Huang Fuzun was really powerful. At this time, Huang Fuzun used the lotus throne to guide the essence of the earth. Dragon shadows rushed out of the ground one after another and gathered in the sky. Good job, Huang Fuzun. Fengyang had to admire the emperor of Array. In terms of Array Dao, Huang Fuzun really deserved to be the #1 master of Array Dao in the Void Realm. As the Earth Chi was guided by Huang Fuzun, the whole world changed color, the sun and the moon lost their light, and all the creatures in Dongyang City felt extremely depressed. The whole sky darkened. What's going on? Has the war started? Countless living beings in the city were terrified to the extreme. This was not an ordinary battle, but a battle between Emperor-level experts. In the Void Realm, Emperor-level experts were usually the strongest existences. As long as people like Palace Master Lingtian didn't take action, Emperor-level experts were almost invincible. In the past, battles between emperors didn't happen often. However, in recent times, battles between emperors had become a common occurrence. Even battles between emperors had broken out a few times. Of course, these were all battles that Ji Yufei had participated in. However, Fengyang, the old ancestor of the Phoenix clan, didn't know about this. At this time, Huang Fuzun and Fengyang were fighting in the sky. The entire sky was filled with origin energy, and the spiritual qi in the world was in a mess. On the mountain outside Dongyang City, Ji Yufei's clone was sitting cross-legged on the top of the mountain, watching the battle in the sky calmly. The Eastern Baron Demon Clan seemed to be full of hidden talents. At this time, Ji Yufei's clone finally felt that the Eastern Baron Demon Clan was different. The Eastern Baron Demon Clan wasn't as simple as they seemed. There were definitely many hidden experts in the Eastern Baron Demon Clan. Perhaps there was something that could interest Ji Yufei in the Eastern Baron Demon Clan. Boom! Bang! In the sky above Dongyang City, dazzling light kept bursting out. Countless array patterns kept bursting in the sky and recombining, repeating the cycle. This was the Array Dao divine power that Huangfu Zun displayed with the array disc. Chapter 5307. An emperor-level battle finally broke out. Words didn't work, so they had to use their fists. Whoever had the hardest fist was the boss. This was the reality of the cultivation world. In fact, if Feng Yang had handed over Lin Xiaotian, this battle wouldn't have happened. However, Feng Yang was the ancestral patriarch of the Eastern Baron Phoenix clan, and the ancestral patriarch naturally had some pride. Feng Yang had to do whatever Huangfu Zun said? That was too shameful. Fight, fight. It's best if both sides suffer. In Dongyang City, Lin Xiaotian, who was standing on the roof of the Yunxian house, was overjoyed. Wasn't he trying to create hatred for Huangfu Zun and Ji Yufei who was behind him? He had achieved his goal, but deep in his heart, he was a little uneasy. Things had gone so smoothly that even Lin Xiaotian had some doubts about why Huangfu Zun wasn't afraid of the Phoenix clan and why he dared to fight with Feng Yang, the ancestral patriarch of the Phoenix clan. The 5 major demon clans of the Eastern Baron territory were of the same branch. Huangfu Zun had offended the Phoenix clan, which was equivalent to offending the 5 major demon clans of the Eastern Baron territory. On the mountain outside Dongyang City, Ji Yufei's avatar pondered. Compared to the entire Eastern Baron territory, Huangfu Zun couldn't defeat the entire Eastern Baron territory demon clan by himself. It's not a bad idea to take this opportunity to train. Thinking of this, Ji Yufei's avatar sent out a message. With his current cultivation, he could send a message from billions of miles away without a problem. Soon, Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju, who were cultivating on Zhongtian Myriad Buddha Mountain, received a message from Ji Yufei's avatar. To the Eastern Baron territory, Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju had already eaten. They walked out of their cultivation area and soon received the news that Huangfu Zun was heading to the Eastern Baron territory. Master wants them to help Huangfu Zun? That was a battle between emperor-level experts. They couldn't get involved at all. However, since their master had summoned them, they had to go. Tianhong, come to me immediately. Xiao Ya sent a message to Tianhong. Patriarch Tianhong had just found a decent array disk in the treasure depository Grotto Heaven and was refining it when he received little Ya's voice transmission. Sigh. Patriarch Tianhong had no choice but to meet Xiao Ya. After all, he was Ji Yufei's subordinate. This guy walked into little Ya's cultivation place dejectedly, but after a while, he walked out in high spirits with his head held high. Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju then left the Myriad Buddha Mountain. However, what made Ji Yufei's avatar depressed was that Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju had used the transfer array to directly enter Dongyang City. Right now, one could only enter Dongyang City, but not leave. Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju were stunned when they arrived at Dongyang City. They were surrounded by hundreds of soldiers outside the teleportation array. Dragon Clan? A young demon clad in golden armor walked out and stared at Long Xiaoju. It's just a wolf cub. Long Xiaoju did not put this guy in his eyes. What? You're courting death. The young warrior raised his spear and stabbed towards the shroud. The Wolf Clan was a powerful clan under the command of the Phoenix Clan. The status of the Wolf Clan in Dongyang City was not low. The Wolf Clan could not be humiliated, so this young warrior wanted to kill them. Scram! With a wave of Long Xiaozhou's right hand, a gust of strong wind immediately swept up on the platform. In the next moment, the Wolf Clan general was sent flying. With a boom, his back slammed heavily into the wall over 100 feet away. Divine King? The Wolf Clan general's face turned red and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. After coughing it out, his face became as pale as paper. Lang Shan was a playboy of the Wolf Clan, but this Wolf Clan warrior was not someone Lang Shan could compare to. Who the hell are you? The Wolf Clan warrior stared at Xiao Ya and Long Xiaoju. What does who we are have to do with you? As Long Xiaoju spoke, he took a step and instantly rushed into the sky. Xiao Ya naturally followed Long Xiaoju. Her junior sister was a divine king, while she was only at the god realm. It was very safe to follow Long Xiaoju here. However, just as Long Xiaoju rushed out of the teleportation formation platform, a figure rushed over at lightning speed from the side and sent Long Xiaoju flying with a punch. Boom! With a loud bang, a nearby house was directly smashed by the dragon boat. Dust filled the air, and broken bricks and tiles scattered in all directions. The Dragon Clan dares to behave atrociously in Dongyang City? A figure surrounded by divine fire appeared in the sky. This sudden scene stunned the hundreds of wolf soldiers near the teleportation formation platform. Even Xiao Ya was shocked. It has to be said that Long Xiaoju was a divine king. This guy that had suddenly appeared had sent a divine king, and a divine king of the Dragon Clan at that, flying with one punch. This in itself was a display of strength. Feng Zhon. Long Xiaoju rushed out from the ruins. When he saw who it was, he was startled. I didn't expect you to know me. A figure was faintly discernible in the divine fire. It was a young cultivator. Mph, it's not hard to guess. In the Phoenix clan, there's only one king who can send me flying with one punch, and that's Feng Zhon. Long Xiaoju patted the dust off her body. Since you know it's me, you still haven't escaped. I admire your courage, Feng Zhon said proudly. You seem to be too confident, Feng Zhon said proudly. You seem to be too confident. Long Xiaoju said disapprovingly. Feng Zhon sneered. This isn't confidence. I just have the strength. All right. If that's the case, we'll talk with strength. As Long Xiaoju spoke, she extended her right hand and a large halberd immediately appeared in her hand. Interesting. Very good. Let's talk with strength. Feng Zhon was very proud. The next moment, the divine fire on his body erupted. The divine fire condensed into fire phoenixes that pounced at Long Xiaoju. Long Xiaoju waved the halberd in her hand and destroyed the fire phoenixes formed by the divine fire. The divine fire dissipated in the air. Don't tell me this is all you've got. Long Xiaoju shouted. She waved the halberd with both hands and slashed at Feng Zhon's head. Her speed was extremely fast. Her attack seemed to have split the air and moved forward with indomitable will. Interesting. Feng Zhon's figure instantly disappeared into the void, and Long Xiaozhou's attack directly hit empty air. When he reappeared, he was already above Long Xiaoju. Feng Zhon didn't hesitate. He stomped down on Long Xiaoju and there was a thunderous sound under his feet. Hee. I can use you to practice. Long Xiaoju suddenly smiled. Then, a strange wave of primordial qi exploded from her body. The power of Feng Zhon's stomp was moved to the side. How is this possible?